This episode of Off My Shelf contains coarse language and adult conversation. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, my name is Tracy James and welcome to Off My Shelf, a podcast about movies that are, well, off my shelf, where we go through my DVDs and talk about the movies in my collection. In Batapalooza 2, Electric Boogaloo, Alix and Leah are here to talk about a couple of the best and a couple of the worst superhero movies ever made, as we discuss the Batman Motion Picture Anthology. Welcome!
Hiya!
Hello! Thank you for coming here on a Saturday evening to talk about some, superhero antics of like a rich guy in a suit and his arch villains. When do they become arch villains or arch nemesis? Is there like a specific level compared to just regular villains and regular nemesis?
I think these guys are the regular kind because they seem to get like pretty comprehensively knocked down in a single film.
That is true.
I think you need a larger plot arc if you want to achieve arch status.
Oh, a plot arc. Yeah, gotcha.
I
get it. Yes, I see what you did there. Good job.
I was trying not to, but I couldn't figure out how to express it otherwise.
I might point out that when these movies started to be made, the concept of a cinematic universe was way out of everybody's radar. So it was way more common for even an arch-villain to get knocked out in one movie.
Yes.
That's true. That
But
is true.
Batman has no shortage of arch and regular villains
sure.
to choose from. So.
Yeah, in the comics, if somebody like me, who's not a comic reader, can name them, probably they're an arch nemesis of some description.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, Batman has, the Maestro, who's a villain that very people know about.
Also,
but
Man-Bat.
People do know about Man-Bat, though.
That's a thing.
What?
Yeah. He's a guy who actually changes into a bat. Yes.
Isn't that just Dracula?
Well, no, he doesn't suck people's blood. There's a difference.
Slacker.
Yes. But it's like Killer Croc and stuff, and like Lizard Man, where they turn into the animal and attack people. That's what Man-Bat is.
Thank God Joel Schumacher ended after 2 movies.
Anatomically correct rubber Man-Bat costumes. Oh no.
Oh no, I'm so sad.
Sorry guys.
Hopefully he'd at least have pants on like they usually do in like the animated series.
How do you... No, you know what? I'm not pursuing that line of thought. Next.
We're not going to think about any of that. I got you.
All right.
I got you.
No.
Yeah.
What are we gonna think about?
So this anthology, if you haven't figured out, takes place between 1989 and 1997 and covers Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and Batman and Robin, which are 2 Tim Burton and 2 Joel Schumacher movies. Yes. So, you definitely get like a different feel between the two. It's very clear that they're different. And
extraordinarily diplomatic.
I'm trying to be nice at first. Thank you. Okay. Oh. I don't have enough sugar or alcohol in me to start the swearing yet. Thank you very much.
Oh, well, we can help with that.
Okay. So I thought it would be best if we, just go through the movies one by one, because if we try to do an overview of Batman in general through these movies, it'll just be difficult. Let's put it that way.
People have PhDs that take less time.
Exactly. So let's start with Batman, 1989, the introduction of Joker on film and the restart of the superhero movies in film in general after, the quote-unquote death of Superman after that horrible 3rd Superman movie and, the proliferation of bad movies that came before it, including Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, and Captain America that were horrendous. And also a turn... Yeah, and also a turn away from this movie is campy, but, 1960s Batman was a different level of campy. And they also did that movie in the early 70s that was just, or was it the late 60s? That Batman movies. Yeah, the Adam West movie that was extremely campy.
Oh,
Bat Shark Repellent?
Yes, they had Bat Shark Repellent, great, beautiful things like that. And... yeah, they went full on to the dark side of where the comic books were and tried to have a different feel to it.
So is this the first modern gritty reboot?
I'm like 98% sure it is. Yes. that like dark feel to comic books. They were all like comic book films. They were always very colorful and bright and black and like when I say black and white, I mean good and evil, clearly that kind of stuff.
Morally black and white, not the other kind.
But they were always, you know, brightly lit, lots of color and no death, just kind of one-liners that this movie does have as well. Don't get me wrong.
Bam, pow, and tights. Yeah.
Yes. But yeah. So, well, what did you guys think on your rewatch?
So
There is a very pregnant pause happening here.
I think a lot of things. I wanted to start with, do we want to talk about just Michael Keaton playing Bruce Wayne, first of all?
Yeah, we can start there. That's fine. Yeah. We can do that.
Michael Keaton, when he is cast as Bruce Wayne, has not led a franchise any bigger than Beetlejuice.
Well, do you consider Beetlejuice to be a franchise?
No, I do not.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was saying, yeah.
Yeah. So,
and also before this, it was, even though Beetlejuice was like quote unquote dark, it was comedy driven / horror.
There were literal musical numbers. It's not that dark.
But yeah, like he was more comedy than serious actor as well. So they thought hiring him was just ridiculous stunt casting at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
He's certainly my favorite of the Batmen.
I agree with you. Yes.
But what I do like about his take on Batman that I think we find less and less is Bruce Wayne slowly gets replaced by a wooden statue throughout the 4 movies.
Oh my god, you guys.
He's clearly a dude who has some stuff to work on and knows it.
Yeah.
As, but not the deep, dark, tortured kind of Christian Bale. You know,
yes.
Yeah, no, he sort of reads like an actual person a little bit who just he's trying to like figure stuff out as, you know, everyone does as they reach adulthood and have to confront the fact that they're now adults. Yeah. But yeah, he's not like emo Batman.
No,
he's none of this Val Kilmer staring out the window, mournfully, manfully, whatever nonsense.
Mournfully, manfully. There's a term for it. Yes,
love their second album. Anyway, but yeah, no, he was a pretty good choice. He was. The movie's pretty well cast. I mean, in general, Jack Nicholson also.
Okay.
I mean, I am impressed that he read a script that included the things that one did and was like, yes, this is the film for me.
This isn't. Yeah, that's a really good point.
Impressed, confused, you know.
But I think he's also, before that, like, he played characters that are literally psychotic or murderers or, or that kind of, like, weird, twisted nature. But yeah,
most of them don't have a henchman with a boombox so they can do pseudo-musical numbers as they're robbing things or killing people.
But I also think that's one of the reasons why the character works so well. Because
he's a very jaunty psychopath.
Yes, very much so, very much so.
That's a very good description.
He just,
everybody loves a jaunty psychopath.
Hey, like, I'm here to murder you.
Before we get too far into Jack Nicholson, I would like to just put to the table that one of the other alternatives that they considered casting-wise was Tim Curry.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, that would have been...
Wait, for
the Joker. Now, this is in 1989, which means that Tim Burton might have been the first person to look at Tim Burton and say, I want to turn him into a clown. Tim Curry, yeah. Say, I want to turn him into a clown. Which he clearly hit on something. But also, that's a different tone to your movie.
Oh, very much so.
My brain literally glitched. Like, I can't.
I know, right?
I can't.
It
with
helps
that.
if you put him in the Frankenfurter stockings first, and then you.
That was my first move. But then there was all the murder, and I got a little.
So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I did not know that. That would definitely be.
What is that even?
Well, because as soon as you see Tim Curry as the Joker, I just see it in a purple suit. And I'm just like, that is disturbing.
I mean, think about, like, Tim Curry does have that grin that goes all the way across his face.
Yeah.
If you think about him sort of steepling his fingers, like, maybe from the back of the parade float.
I actually think also they would have saved a lot of money on makeup in time for Jack Nicholson. They wouldn't have had to do, like, that pull-back weirdness.
Yeah.
He would have just smiled that way and just kept it for extended periods of time, easily. and it would have worked.
Yeah.
One of the things that I also read, so I only know a couple of things about the production. I didn't come quite as well armed as last time.
Yes, but you're still more armed than we are, so it's fine.
My knowledge really peters out as the movies get weirder.
Yeah, there's a reason, because you know why? Because you get disinterested and you're just like, why should I care? And then, but we're not there yet. We're not going to start bitching as yet. It's fine.
So,
it's coming.
So Jack Nicholson also signed off on the Joker makeup, which means that the key makeup artist, did a bunch of different face molds and then took them to Jack Nicholson, and he was like, this is the weirdest, creepiest version of me that I will wear on my own face. Thank you very much. Which, that makes a lot more sense when you're talking about somebody like Jack Nicholson, like you were saying, who is going to be in a superhero movie. Yes. Which is maybe considered a lowering of tone at the time.
Oh, yeah, we're still
working on that. Like, people still talk trash about them. I mean, they've gotten better, but people are still...
And Michelle Pfeiffer is still in them.
Yeah! Yes.
She is.
Yes, she is.
Well, going back to, Michael Keaton as Batman, Batman in general, one thing I realized in Batman and also Batman Returns is that despite his ability to act really well and smolder and, look like a tortured soul and all that kind of stuff, he actually says and does very little.
Yeah.
He I think in Batman Forever, in the first 10 minutes, Kilmer says more words than he did in the last two movies.
Oh, he could have not.
He could have
nothing worth hearing, but there were certainly a lot of words.
But as I was watching the movies, I was just like, but he's not doing anything. He's sitting in front of his computer going, Joker, ooh, and then he goes and fights the Joker.
He's sort of like the fulcrum of it, where stuff rotates around him, but there's not. Yeah, there's that scene where Vicky Vale is like, "Oh, I've loved you since I met you," and it's like, "But why?"
It's also been 3 days.
Yeah, and he's literally not done anything impressive in your eyeline. I mean, he's done impressive stuff, but dressed like a giant bat, trolling the streets like a maniac, not in your in your orbit.
Where is she coming from? She comes from a war zone, and all we know is she likes bats. She likes bats, so now she's hanging around Gotham.
She's a photojournalist, right?
Yeah.
And
she's interested in the story, which it is a pretty good story of this weirdo in pajamas reigning terror on the criminal element of Gotham. But I mean, it's apparently a compelling story because here we all are.
Yeah, but she was embedded in the Court of Maltese. She doesn't need this.
But she came back home and submitted her pictures, and she's like, I gotta take pictures of something else.
Sure. But also, for somebody who survives in war zones, she doesn't really have a lot of self-preservation instinct or judgment.
And she has a lot of white poofy dresses.
Oh, I mean, if you've been wearing khakis for 6 months, I can see how you might overcompensate. I would not, personally choose to look like some sort of weird bridal prom hybrid at all times. But
what? You're crazy.
I know the shoulder pads weren't her fault, but the bows, man.
Middle school church prom is what I
had. Yes. Yes.
Personally, actually, since we're talking about her fashion, so one thing that surprised me about the movie was, it's Kim Basinger, she's a beautiful woman, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, how do you make a beautiful woman stay beautiful in her outfits and stuff? They put her in a lot of fabric, but it still worked 90% of the time, I find. Or is it just me?
No, the horror element is that it was the early 90s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she's pulling it off in as much as one can.
Yeah.
But also, fashion was a careening emergency through most of that decade.
No, I mean, there's definitely some of her outfits where it's just like, oh my god. But then there were other outfits where it's just like, oh, wow, she looks great. She looks really good.
I mean...
So, for example, when she's going to dinner and the Joker shows up and she's wearing that green dress completely covered and it's kind of, cinched in the front, and that's when, Batman saves her and she gets, the film and stuff.
Oh, boy.
That dress was beautiful.
Yeah.
I think it would work really well now.
Yeah.
Or, of course, when the Joker shows up at her apartment, she's just wearing that nice, simple black outfit.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
it looks really great,
in the newsroom in the beginning. Very simple. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think at the time, even though, yes, it is super, super 90s, or actually technically it's 80s. super, super late 80s,
the second one.
They managed to, make her look, I mean,
Classic?
It's classic. Yes, there's the word. Yes, we'll go with that. Like, I don't, like, it puts it in a time period for sure, but I've definitely seen movies from the 80s and 90s where you're like, this is what beautiful is, and you're just like, oh my god, no. You know, like, look at any episode of, like, Dallas or something where they're,
well, I mean, that's Southern beautiful, which is, like, a whole nother thing.
Apparently it's all just shiny taffeta everywhere.
We'll talk about Southern Bells later when we get to Poison Ivy.
Oh, jeez. Oh, god, yeah. Oh, we keep jumping to it. It's all
boy.
horrible.
Sorry,
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah.
I wanted to go back, first of all, while we're talking about fabrics, to the cream carpet in Vicky Vale's apartment. She just got to town. That's an apartment, not a condo. She rented that place. What kind of landlord puts cream carpets down? Especially in a kind of city where
crazy
Batman
ones.
runs around.
But it's
I
also...
live in an apartment full of matte paint. Landlords are idiots.
Okay.
But
Also,
also, that apartment was beautiful.
It's so amazing.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious how the guys both walked in and said the same thing. And I
They
was just like,
did!
Yeah.
I made
yes,
a
that
note
is
of
an
as well.
awfully gigantic apartment for New York, you lunatics.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Gotham City.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Well,
that's
I've
right.
heard the property values are similar.
But actually, speaking of that, like, I made a note of that as well. It's like, holy shit, they said exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
But there is also comments within it, the movie, indicating that they're both the same, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And is that supposed to be like a reflection of their likeness of mind? That they'd have the same kind of, like, it's not just the same reaction, like, oh, nice apartment, and guys like, oh, wow, this place is really nice. No, they said the exact same
thing,
words
yeah.
in the exact same way. That had to have been
Yeah, it was
purposeful.
obviously deliberate.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think maybe that is more for comedy than anything, but they certainly are very much the same, and I don't think Batman, the franchise, had gotten to a place where Batman, the character, could be properly meta and self-aware about being as similar as his criminals.
In the comic books, yes.
In the comic books, for sure.
yeah,
Yes.
but not on
Movies are just taking
screen.
baby steps.
Yeah, well, I mean, this was like, quote unquote, the first, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's definitely like, I mean, one thing I realized about this movie is like there was definite thought in this movie. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like what type of Batman they're going to portray,
Oh, yeah.
what type of Joker they're going to display, what type of city they're going to do. Like it's always been Gotham / New York, but they've changed it in such a way that it actually becomes Gotham City.
Oh, yeah.
And like so far, like based on film and TV, the Batman and the Joker that you've seen has been completely different to this.
Sure.
But also, it's still a complete reflection then to all of the Batman that we've known before, right? So they've managed to, put
Yeah.
all of the iterations together, I find.
Well, I mean, one of the reasons that people still pay Tim Burton to be Tim Burton is because he's an absolute maniac and he's really good at world building.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So, there's no detail too small. He is nuts, but creative and talented nuts.
Yeah.
So,
The visual of Gotham City is really cohesive across the board. Like, we're in Gotham City, we know we're there. When we're in Gotham, we're in Gotham. Like, it's not...
Yeah.
It is New York, but especially in that first movie, it's got, like, the weird deco feel and the old cars, and I guess some of them were just cars at the time.
It's true.
But I'm here for every tiny set deck detail because the production design is gorgeous.
It is.
And
It's
that was,
beautiful.
I think,
Yeah.
what was most critically acclaimed about the film.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the strong, driven vision behind the production design.
Mm-hmm.
If you're bringing in actors of the character of Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson, the characters are going to take their cue, and it's going to be a lot easier for the actors to act within such a strong palette.
Mm-hmm.
We have created a world for you.
You guys
Fit yourself into it.
do your things.
Yeah,
and
and they
then
absolutely do.
let Jack Nicholson out in the corner, and he goes dancing across the whole stage and chews on some of the scenery and chews on the rest of the scenery.
Yeah.
Little
But
tea
even
marks
like
everywhere.
even at the very beginning with like Jack Palance, for example, who's a classic actor, he's not in the movie for very long,
No.
but he chews that scenery.
Oh man,
beautifully.
every line he has is just like, oh, you go, buddy. I'm sort of cringing, but I salute you.
Yeah. Yes,
I also especially love when Joker shoots him and he ends up in the chair in a move that is literally physically impossible.
Yeah.
unless he somersaulted over the desk, which he did not because we didn't see his feet. And I was just like, that's not what you did there, but okay. He needs to swoon into the chair and die.
Well, yeah. How else is he gonna like? He's got to have best death ever.
Yeah.
Like that. It's got to be that feel. But he doesn't want to be like a body on the floor or somebody like turned over somewhere. It's like no. See my death.
I am acting this, and the desk was just like, oh, sorry, sir. Look out of your way. Yeah, it made me laugh.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah.
And it is also that kind of movie. It had to teach us where it was going as it was going there because the shared vocabulary was not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Hence, we go from, before we get to Jack Palance's death, we go to the dirty back alley surgery, which has a sign that says surgery that is dirty and in a back alley.
Yeah. It's,
you want to advertise. I mean, it's
sure.
It comes in yelling, is what I'm saying.
Right. Everything is pretty much what it says on the tin.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this movie in years and years, and I thought that it was a pretty serious movie, and then as soon as Jack Nicholson started capering, I was just like, oh, what like, what is happening here?
I thought
I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it. I just wasn't expecting that.
Yes.
Somehow. So I was like, oh yeah, Tim Burton. It's like a dark Batman movie.
And it's got the Joker in it, and everybody knows that the Joker is a very serious character. We're not talking about Suicide Squad. The Joker is a very serious character, played by very serious actors.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's been a little bit.
Yeah. But I think that all of our visions of what the Joker is and what Batman is, in especially most recent years, especially with like the Christopher Nolan movies and Suicide Squad,
are we even
has
talking
come across.
about that?
No, we don't really. We really don't have to. We can just leave it at that.
What this is not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
But like the generation of people who grew up watching this and then was thrust into this darkening world has now like, oh no, Batman's a dark and serious dude, and the Joker is like, he is dark and serious, and he just happens to have silly makeup on, But no, the Joker was just that. He's a joke. Like that's the whole point of him. Like
even that's what makes him dangerous. He's really unpredictable.
He's unpredictable.
Right?
Yeah.
It was interesting to see casual terrorism in the movies, all of the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Just acts of terrorism in the streets that were not depicted in at all the same way.
People get wound up about the weirdest things. They're all wound up about Batman, and it's like he's literally like gassing an entire crowd. Is anyone like? I mean, there's some toing and froing and screaming, but it's not like. I mean, it's not. Yeah, it doesn't. Doesn't have the gravity. I mean, which is nice for them that they lived in a world where that wasn't commonplace and was not in everyone's mind. But
still, there's that one scene where they're having like the news conference or whatever, and just a bunch of random mimes show up, and I'm like, there's 12 mimes around you. How have you not noticed this yet?
That was another moment where I was like, I was distracted by something, and I turned back just in time to see the mime get like really close to Bruce Wayne, and I was just like, no. Buddy, you need to defend yourself. Something really creepy is happening behind you.
Yeah. Parts of this movie are still very effective.
Yes. They are. They really are.
Is that why you're afraid of clowns? I know they're mimes, not clowns, but
I
they're
don't think it helped.
From the same genus.
While we're talking about things that I am afraid of, it has already been established on this podcast that I'm afraid of big things and statues, and there are a lot of statues.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna talk more about this later, but as it gets pulled out from a set element to beyond the ridiculous, but let it just be known for now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Well, do you think? So one of the things I've realized as well when watching films and all that kind of stuff, and media today, and talking to people, chlorophobia, is that like a societal learned behavior, or is this really like people have always generally been afraid of clowns? Like I haven't been able to figure it out, because especially the last since about 1980, maybe a little earlier than that, there's been a lot of movies about scary clowns.
Which came first, the clowns or the fear?
Exactly. You know what I mean? And there just seems to be, even with movies like this, they're kind of silly, but at the same time, you see one and it's just like, oh shit,
Yeah.
In popular culture, they are certainly a harbinger.
Yes.
Generally speaking.
Also,
even if they're not...
reality. Like in the Northeast States a couple of years ago, when there were just clowns everywhere, nobody talked about it.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
That was creepy.
Yeah.
Also juggalos.
Juggalos are, yes.
Yes.
Whole different podcast.
Yeah.
Yes, but yes.
Mind you, I do like a few ICP songs, so it's fine.
I can't believe you committed that to recording.
I can still delete it if I feel like it. Thank you.
Well, you might want to take that under advisement. I'm just saying.
The thing about clowns, or the Joker, or possibly most creepily, the women in the Joker ad later on, is that they are a bad distortion of reality. That's what is scary to me about them. They're almost a human, but they're not quite a human. The movements aren't quite right. They're somebody you know, but they're not somebody you know.
Yeah.
So I think in that way, the fear of clowns is probably pretty understandable, even going way back to the clown as an archetype in entertainment. But I think it was probably not as widespread until the 80s, 90s.
Well, I guess
again, an easy shorthand in popular culture.
Well, is it because of, I guess, mass consumption compared to before where it was small doses? I mean, if you go back to, I was watching Seinfeld recently, like Pagliacci, the sad clown, you know, like it was technically, it's opera. It was popular culture, but it was in small sets all over the place, you know, where... As now, instead of, 50 people see something, it's 50 million people see something. And, is that, like adding to that sort of psychosis?
I think it was probably Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yes.
And Pennywise is scary also. Like, that really traumatized a lot of people.
A lot of people.
Yes, and they keep trying to traumatize us with it again and again. So yeah,
which I, for one, am here for. But I don't know. It's weird, but I don't.
Like that you said they're unpredictable. And that I think is what makes Joker work really well for me. Is that he is just a little. I mean, Jack Nicholson plays crazy better than
a lot of
It's kind of his deal.
True. Yeah.
But even just like. The movement, the dancing, the tone shifts, the sudden bursting into yelling, it all adds up to the same as being, on a bad Tinder date with a dude that is just a ticking time bomb of, and it you can kind of tell there's something
red flags
right there.
Yeah.
Unpredictability.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe it has to do with, like, the mask aspect of it as well. Like, if you have something smiling at you that's also stabbing you, you're just like, there's a cross between things going on here, that just seems sort of weird kind of thing. So,
I don't know. I was never afraid of clowns as a child, but as an adult, I sort of associate them with, like,
murder.
Child molesters.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Not murder. I associate it with, like, oh, this person might be up to no good.
There's something uneasy
which is like
about it.
Horrible generalization, but although carnival masks and that kind of thing do freak me out, so maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting more timid in my old age. I mean, I kind of doubt it, but maybe.
Maybe you're just getting more and more exposed to people who abuse those things to do horrible things.
I'm getting better at addressing red flags and being like, nope.
Speaking of clowns, I thought that the Bad Scary Float clown would make more sense if I watched the movie, because I remembered the Bad Scary Float clown from the parade, and I was like, that doesn't seem to tie into anything else that's happening, really. It just seems like something that Tim Burton has somehow.
It was in his backyard. He's like, hey, can we use this anywhere?
Yeah.
Done.
Right.
Did I miss something?
Yeah. No.
No, right?
No.
The birthday cake I get, it's Gotham's birthday, which, for a moment, let's just acknowledge that all of the, like, MacGuffin action around, like, the actual plot of this movie takes place over a town festival.
Yes. It's, Gotham's 200th anniversary?
The stakes could not be lower.
But it's a
I didn't think about that, but you're right. And they were just like, no, we're going to cancel the party. And he's like, that's not happening. I'm just going to throw my own party.
Yeah. But I also love the big press conference on, like, the steps of City Hall. There's, like, 20 people, and you're just like, this is the big reveal. Gotcha.
Technically, it's a city. There should be more people just extant in the
square. There are literally more people than that in the newsroom, and it's a press conference.
Yeah.
For one outlet has more people in their newsroom than that. What are we doing here?
There's probably much more interesting things going on in the city. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
About the parade, I hate to be that guy who's like, I noticed some plot holes, but I noticed some plot holes. Which are not really plot holes in so much as just thoughts that I had very loudly while I watched the movie. Which the first thing is, there's not one person in that crowd with like a bag. Throwing away cash and nobody brought like a net.
No, you grab it with your hands and you hold it to your chest.
I
That's
feel
it.
like actual people do stupid stuff like that too.
That's actually a really good point.
I feel like if you find I feel like there have been news clips of like where something like fell out of a plane or whatever, and like people just like lose their minds, and it's like they're trying to catch snowflakes on their tongue. It's like, if you just settle the hell down, you can make a lot of money here.
Yeah.
Like, stop leaping around like an imbecile. But you know, whatever.
Yeah, and nobody thought it was weird that this creep who was just trying to kill everybody in the city was like, hey guys, I'm gonna give you guys some free money. Come hang out.
Also, if we're on the nitpick train, that money did not look like actual money, even a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you can't have real currency on screen, but it was the wrong color. It just looked, I know it's kind of comic book, but like, I was just like that. If I was standing in the crowd, I'd be like, what is he throwing? Is this like a Jesus pamphlet?
Yes.
You know, like it just didn't.
Good at Shrek's department store.
Because they had the envelope of money earlier that looked like American money. So like we have seen what your currency looks like, and that ain't it. Anyway,
they probably ran out of time, and they didn't have time to like print proper ones. So just photocopy those.
Yeah, some poor assistant was like stuck in an office.
Like, why don't we have 3 million of these yet? Oh, give me 5 minutes, boss.
I'm counting.
Yeah, no, I just
just
and
another
this is
assistant tasked with counting the first production assistant.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. I
had
just
a good time doing that.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
it was the 80s. You could employ like 7,000 people on one feature.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, the credits are short for these movies compared to a lot of the credits I've been looking at lately.
Yes.
That's what happens when you watch Marvel movies.
Well, that's the thing. They weren't. They were just sticking a wax whatever on Jack Nicholson. They weren't changing his smile in every frame with a team of 7.
I'll have you
or whatevs.
It was not a wax face that needed to be resculpted with every frame. It was a silicone mold because Jack Nicholson is allergic to spirit gum, which is the thing that sticks
pumpkin,
latex up to your face.
Really?
So he's allergic to that. I don't know what they're putting on his face to stick the silicone mold to it, but it's not pleasant.
Getting that off at the end of the day must have been horrible.
Yeah, probably.
It's like
which face he wanted
John
to
Rhys Davies on Lord of the Rings. He was allergic to whatever they used to make him look like
beard
fat.
Yeah.
And so he just, every picture you see of him on set, like when not in makeup, his eyes are all swollen. He just looks like slapped ass. It's bad.
Oh my
so
god.
bad.
Was he not a big enough name for him to like demand they change it to something else?
Well, I think it was one of those things that developed with exposure.
Oh,
so at the beginning it was fine, or his eyes were a little itchy, whatever, and then by the end it was just like, just get it done.
We've gone too far. Yeah. Oh my god, that sounds like torture.
Yes, exactly.
While we're talking about makeup, I wanted to talk about Jerry Hall, who's also in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Max, 80s.
Yeah.
Really slamming it there. I think the mask is a lot scarier than the reveal. Certainly.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
I agree with you.
Oh, for sure.
I agree with you, yeah.
The fear of what's under the mask is always scarier than what's under the mask.
Yeah. Yeah, Cloverfield, don't show the monster.
No, seriously. When she's taking off the mask, like I was thinking of Beetlejuice when he takes off his face.
Okay, yeah.
When she takes off the mask and it's just like she doesn't look so great.
Yeah.
It's like it was a little bit of a letdown for me.
Yeah, no, it really did look like she had an allergic reaction on one side.
She didn't even have Phantom of the Opera levels. It was nonsense.
Yeah.
It would have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, she was a model and stuff, and I guess it goes back to that level of what do you call it? Pride or no?
Vanity.
Vanity. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm happy to not know all my 7 deadly sins because I'm a great person.
No, if you watch 7 a couple more times, you'll get it.
Oh no, trust me.
It's a helpful mnemonic.
What's really surprising? So this is the second time I've talked about 7 in a week. I mean, I literally haven't watched that movie in years.
Doesn't matter.
And in a week,
impressed itself on everyone's brain that
it
saw
has,
it.
yeah.
Woo-wee.
And so I remember the first time watching that movie. It was in my friend's basement, and her dad had like a 72-inch rear projection television, so it's massive,
so much
right?
of that movie.
And I still remember the scene where you first see the fat guy, the gluttony guy, and they do the pan up from the bottom, and he just takes up the whole screen. It's practically life size, and both like me and my two friends that were watching the movie were like, "Do you like? Are we actually smelling that? Because it often smells real bad in here." It was psychosomatic, obviously.
Or someone was farting in self-defense.
Yeah. They're like, oh no, it's the movie, I swear. But no, it was just like, you could smell it. It was disgusting, you know? It was all kinds of horrible. But mind you, the scenes where, you get Brad Pitt's face in there, and you're just like, hey, Brad, how's it going?
Hey.
Yeah. It's a lot of face.
Yeah.
It's a good face.
Anyways,
That's,
but yeah, that's all I got.
That's hilarious. I also had a thought about Seven actually watching this movie where she gets the delivery, whatever, the cardboard box that she has to open. Yeah. And everything, chaos, whatever, people running around, and then she's like, oh, I wonder what this is, and goes to open it, and I'm like, don't you know you never open the box? And then it was like, oh, no, I guess you don't know that yet.
Yeah. Also, maybe in this world she hasn't seen all the movies where you don't open the box.
Right, everyone. I mean,
yeah, it's true. Yeah. But also, it's a box given to you by a psycho.
Yeah, maybe.
I would generally not open the box.
She's a journalist.
That's true. She needs the information.
That's true.
Yeah. Because that easily could have been the same acid that burned Derry Hall's face, just in her face, and be like, now you're art. Yeah. Not so much.
Although, I mean, I guess the last time she opened a box from the Joker, it actually saved her life. So
that is true.
That is true.
I mean, I still maintain she has not a lot of self-preservation instinct, but
not a ton, but a good amount. Certainly, much more than other women in action films.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times she knows
Robin.
Jeez, yeah.
But that's later.
Much more later.
Yeah. Like, I think she has like the at least mental capacity to like run a little bit away and then take a picture, then stand there and take the picture.
Yeah.
Which is good. Yep. I will say.
And
but at the same time, keep running. Like, what are you doing? Just
in that scene where she's up on the roof where Batman leaves her on there and then it goes down and he's fighting, when she takes the pictures, is she trying to distract them or is she just an idiot?
She's an idiot. I think she's an idiot.
I wanted to think she was trying to.
Because that would be a really good way to do it with the Flash, because then he gets the jump on that. Like, he manages to pull himself out of nonsense, right? I mean, he was going to do it anyway because he's Batman and they're henchmen 17 through 87, whatever.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. They're the D team at this point because everyone else has been gassed
already.
Yeah. Where's he getting all these? Never mind. You know what? Doesn't matter. I wanted to talk about that scene because can we talk about Kim Basinger weighing 108 pounds?
What?
I mean, she's itty bitty, but
no. But even he says he's like, you weigh more than 108 pounds,
right? And then later on in the next movie, Selena Kyle is talking about in the paper they said she weighed 140 pounds.
Yeah.
Which one? Why?
Yeah.
And two, this indicates to me that there is that's not like a fun running joke. There is like a weird blank spot in the writer's room where it's like, let's make this a joke. Sure, how do we joke about it? I don't know.
No, but if you pay attention to...
You ask your wife and she tells you to go fuck yourself and sleep on the couch. That's how you make a joke about it. You come in and you're like, the joke's off.
That's not how you do that. Yeah. But I actually think they brought it back in the other movies because they were trying to, especially with Catwoman, even though it doesn't really work that well, it was all about her and her, women empowerment and all that kind of stuff. Don't, what did she say, that one girl? Don't make yourself the victim all the time, or don't listen to what the men are saying or whatever. And I think it's because when she's after that, she gets very mad, and goes out and does more crimes that night, for example. So maybe that's what it was. It was it makes a direct reference to the scene in this, and then was just oh, Little Women, you want to see what we can do? It might be one of those things as well, or
Catwoman in just a minute.
Yeah. But I don't know.
No, it's a good point.
That's what I'm hoping.
In a productive way.
As I said, I'm hoping that's what it was.
Yeah. Well, and I'm hoping she was just trying to distract those guys. But
yes.
Probably.
It sort of came across like she was just an idiot.
Yeah.
Going back to the hand popping out of the box, that and the giant gun from pants, A+ comedy. I turn into a 7. I laugh.
Oh,
just like
okay.
a child.
Yeah, so fabulous. But, okay, so the gun for the pants thing.
Yes. Do you have a lot of questions about how he gets onto that float? Because I do.
There's definitely no leg bending, that's for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
don't make the obvious joke. Don't make the obvious joke.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I'm back.
He might be compensating for something?
I was going more to he has practice direction. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But right before that, Batman's coming at him in the
Batwing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
fine.
a triumphant high five.
Yes.
Thanks for narrating.
Sorry. Well, it didn't clap as loud because I didn't stare at your elbow while we did it, so the connection was wrong. I'm sorry.
No, it's still satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least we didn't do like the whole like air.
Oh.
That's yeah. I hate it when I do that. So,
Yikes. It's always embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right before, so he's coming in on the Batwing, and he's got the target on lock, and he's releasing all the rockets, and then nothing?
He misses him so much.
And I literally was like, what, is he a stormtrooper? And then I was like, what? Why did that come out of my mouth?
Yeah.
I don't even Star Wars. But also, like, his aim is so bad that he has him locked on a target. He's coming straight at it. There's no obstacles. There's nothing. And he misses him with, like, 6 different rockets.
See, but that's the thing. I actually think it was bad Batwing design. That's all it is because his guns are obviously not on turrets, right? So if you got 2 guns on the side, there's going to be a blind spot in the middle no matter what you're aiming at.
So crank the wheel 20 degrees and blow that fucker off the street.
Obviously, he didn't do it.
Instead, he, like, crashes, and then Joker pulls out this giant-ass gun and, like,
shoots him right in the middle.
And then shoots with one shot.
Yeah.
And it's just like, bang.
Which
like,
is
that
nonsense.
that is so embarrassing for everybody.
Everybody,
Plus
I agree.
I'm just gonna say right there, a very Joker thing.
Yes.
Yeah, and also,
Sorry.
if he shoots Joker in the middle of the street, at that point, the movie is over. So, like...
I would have been okay with that.
Listen, we're going to talk about the other movies and I might agree with you more later. But for this movie, no, it's fun because he has, so far, the Batmobile has been equipped with the exact thing he needs it to do every single time, except for the Joker standing right in front of him. Which in some way, I'm pretty sure, if you give me a couple of minutes, could be a metaphor for Bruce Wayne's very poor adulting skills in life.
The forest for the trees thing.
Yeah. There we go. Thanks.
Well, one thing I realized also watching these movies is that one thing about Batman is no matter how much he beats people up or arrests them or whatever, he doesn't kill people. He actively massacres people in this movie and the second movie. Like he threw people off buildings. He blew up buildings with people, knowing people were in them, whether they're henchmen or not. You know, like he shot at the Joker to obviously murder him. He threw that guy off through the bell tower down to the ground.
Ooh, I like that one.
On active. It was pretty great though.
The guy who jumped at him from behind and just fell through the ground.
That was so good for me.
This movie is a cartoon sometimes.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. That sequence I was seal clapping a little bit.
Yeah, it's really, really good despite how how absolutely toe-curlingly creepy it got so quickly.
Yeah.
The Jafar.
Oh, yes! Yes!
Oh, where she's, like, kissing on the sleeve of his jacket, and I was like, girl, if you're gonna play this game, like, play it. That's not, this thing you're doing is creepy.
Yeah. Well, at least she, like, actually, like, goes through it. She's like, oh, God, I gotta take some of this fluff out of it. So, you know, I'm like, that fluff's gonna happen, okay?
Yeah, don't lick his suit. Oh, my God, what is
wrong with you? Jeez. Also, how is that seducing anybody? Making out with his
Well, I
arm?
actually really liked that scene in the sense that, like, yes, it is creepy as hell, but also he looks, like, so gobsmacked. He's just like, I don't, what is happening here?
What is actually
like, he's not like, ooh, she's into me, or like, oh, this is a trap. He's just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, if you confuse the psychopath, you are crazier than he is, FYI.
I mean, she, like, only had one move, so she took it. Good on her.
That's
Finally.
true. That is very
you know,
true.
wised up for half a second. As awkward as it was, but yeah, it was... Yeah, I don't know. It just, his face in that, where he's just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be the unpredictable one. What is
What is
this?
happening?
And when Batman finally does get up there, he does open the trapdoor at the top like a guy who's expecting to get kicked in the teeth, which is the first time in the whole movie. It seems like he might know what's going on. It's like, he's only like wising up to what to expect, but also, yeah, you're right. He maybe is a cold-blooded killer a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 I don't know. Batman doesn't kill people. That's supposed to be his thing.
But that's so patently untrue.
Mm-hmm.
That's completely untrue. Like, has that ever been true ever?
Batman?
I mean, probably Adam West didn't murder a lot of people because he was in tights on TV, and he, like, the censors wouldn't have, stood for it. But
the thing is with maybe my problem is that oh god, we killed our.
Slate of decomp, Batman.
Jesus.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Maybe my problem is I've just got off of recording the episode for Batman the Animated Series, and one of the comments I make in that one is the fact that they actively show how he doesn't kill people, and if there are people in peril, they actively show that those people are not dead, or like he saves them or whatever, and they really weave it into the story. And I think coming from that and coming from to this, it was just like, oh shit, Batman does kill people. Like, it's one of those things. Yeah. And even reading the comic books and stuff, about half the comic books, it doesn't really factor in. And the other half, you're just like, did that guy die? You're just not sure. Mm-hmm. But like, with the main villains, the arch villains, or the nemesis, whatever you like to call them, they definitely don't die, except for very specific stories where the purpose is, this story is the end of
this
blah,
run,
blah,
whatever.
You know?
Sure.
So maybe that's what it is for me, where I'm just I actively picked it out. Like, it just hit me every time he killed somebody. I was like, oh my god, he killed that guy. Oh my god, he killed that guy. Like, it just, it made it very noticeable. Yeah.
Yeah, so, fair enough.
It's not that the big character trait is that he kills people. It's that the big character trait is actually one that we already knew, which is his massive self-deception and his self-awareness problems.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's like, I'm Batman. I don't kill people. And then Alfred is just like with a push broom in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. If you drop somebody off a building and they don't die, but they never leave their hospital bed, guess what? That's worse.
You've done something wrong. Yes.
Yeah. No, it's true. I really like the scene where the balloon gets cut loose and Joker's super mad and he's like, whatever, Bob, I need a gun. So he hands him the gun and then he immediately shoots him. And I was just like, bro, you needed another term of henchman college. Like, you should be running right now.
Well, that's what henchmen are for.
But he was
his number one guy.
Yeah, he was the lead henchman. Was his name actually Bob, or did I make that up?
No, no, it's Bob.
Because I thought I'd made that up. Because it's totally ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's
but
completely fine.
Anyway, I really was pleased by that.
And also 3 seconds before that, after he takes the balloons and goes away, and he's in the Batwing, and they go flying away, and the moon is just full that night, and the Batwing just kind of goes up and is just like, and drops back down. I love that scene, no matter how cheesy and ridiculous it is. It's wonderful.
It's so good. Also, the Joker angrily shouting, "He stole my balloons!"
Yes.
So I forget that these movies are supposed to also be funny. Mm-hmm. Like, because they're so over the top that they're not often genuinely funny for me. But that and Bruce Wayne rehearsing in Vicky Vale's apartment and Batman, just like really trying. Yeah. Those are legitimately funny moments that are just delightful for me.
Yeah. I find they're serious movies that don't take themselves seriously, you know?
The people in them are serious.
Yes, yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I think people still like them, is because with superhero movies now, especially in the DC universe, they've gone to this point where there's like, no, this is the real world, and these are dark souls and dark people in a dark world. Darkness. And you're just like, calm the fuck down. That dude is wearing tights and a red cape. Yeah.
Well, sure. Especially for Batman, too, because, whatever. Like, the Nolan Batmans are a cinematic achievement. I don't personally choose to watch them often because...
That's fine.
Well, I'm pretty staunchly Marvel anyway. But, they're good movies. They're not really my thing. But also, it's like, Batman is so serious all the time. And it's like, listen... Part of what Bruce Wayne does for a living is literally go to parties. Yeah. Surely he can scare up a joke and some small talk sometimes, or he still wouldn't be invited despite the paychecks. Like, come on.
Exactly, exactly.
Like, he can't be this big a jackass. Yeah. All of the money in Wayne Enterprises cannot be enough for him to still be allowed to do what he does if he sucks this bad.
Yeah. Also,
because no one would hang out with him.
If he was that bad at parties, Alfred would have taken him home, smacked some sense into him by now.
Yeah.
Or because you'd be like, people are going to figure out you're Batman if you're this much of a dick. Like, come on, just get your shit together. Let's go.
Yeah.
So,
Alfred rocks, man.
He does. Actually, he is the one thing in all of these movies that I enjoy every
time
thing
he shows
says when
up,
he's on
I'm
screen.
just like, oh, hello, friend. Yes.
Best Alfred.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. Yeah.
He's
no,
great. I know. Yeah.
He's the cat's pajamas. We love Alfred.
He is. Yeah. He was old when he did that movie. He was like 80 already. He that guy died in 2011.
2011. I looked that up too.
And he's still great.
No, he's fine.
still great.
He's fine. Yeah, he's like he's also the only sensible person in
all of it.
Movies?
Most of them.
Any of all of the movies?
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
There is only one major villain in this movie.
Yes, which I think is great.
Yeah, I sort of feel like that's maybe a better idea.
Yeah. Then you can focus on actually like developing a character or two instead of just having like the worst pairs figure skating shenanigan happening all over Gotham.
Yeah. No, I agree with you where this movie though like actually did like a proper like origin story of the Joker, which even though people are bitching about the Joker movie coming out, and I'm one of those people, and they're talking about how there's never been an origin story for the Joker and all this kind of stuff. And to be honest, I forgot, like, I knew there was some bit of originness in this, but I forgot it was like a proper origin story for the Joker in this, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is this origin story doesn't make you feel sorry for the Joker, whereas this movie coming out makes you feel like, oh no, he's had a hard life. No. That's why he went bad, which I think is just...
Who plays the Joker in the new one?
Joaquin Phoenix. And like, if you watched...
I wish there was an audio equivalent of Alix's face.
Yeah.
You listeners are just saying something
yeah, no, seriously.
Wow,
like,
I'll take actors I have no time for 800, Alix.
Oh, jeez. No, but the thing is, like, I actually think Joaquin Phoenix is a decent actor, but not a very good person in general.
No, he's done some fabulous movies, but I don't care.
And that's good. Yeah, that's...
I don't know. He's one of those people. I feel the same way about James Franco.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, I think you're gross and I hate your face and I don't want to watch your movies. Which is like...
acceptable.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
sort of irrational, but also...
No, you can't help it.
Life is short.
Yep.
I don't have time for that weasel face.
Yeah.
And I don't have time for a Joker movie anyway, so the fact that it stars somebody I already don't like, I'm just like, nope.
I'm good.
Pass.
Yeah.
Much less one that takes the Tim Burton, Willy Wonka, but it's because my father was a dentist route. It's like, I don't need to know your backstory, you're just an insane person.
Yeah.
That was a good amount of backstory for the Joker. He was already a bad person.
And he was also already kind of like, you know.
And then he was like, now I truly have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's a man off his tether. It's great.
He could act normal while he looked normal, and once that was not an option anymore, he was like, well, hold my beer.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that was more than enough, right? Whereas this is like,
yes, that was perfectly sufficient.
Like, based on the trailer, it's like, no, I'm a guy who's a clown, and, you know, people make fun of me, and they've put me down my whole life, and now I've snapped, so now I'm the Joker. And you're like, no, that's not gonna work for me.
I have some time for Joaquin Phoenix. I don't think I have that much time for man pain left in my life.
Oh yeah. No, no, I'm coming to a place where I'm just like, oh, great, another white guy emoting, sort of badly. No.
Oh yeah, because their lives are so difficult.
Yes, I've repressed this, and now I'm letting it out in plot convenient little drips and drabs while I stare out the window and whatever. No, stop, pass. Yep.
Yeah, we gotta leave that until Batman Forever as well. So, anyways,
yes. I'll take the guy with the giant.
Ooh,
I'll take the guy with the giant gun in his pants and the birthday cake float and the crazy blue.
Yeah,
any day.
Yes. Yeah, do it up, bro.
One thing I've realized about this movie, even though I have for a very long time thought it was one of my favorite movies. As a person, I haven't literally seen this movie in about 4 or 5 years now, and either it's my age or my exposure to new or quote-unquote better superhero movies and comic books and whatever, I kind of think this is a really bad movie. Not really, it's just bad. It's not as good as I remember it being. Like, I find the story quite disjointed. I know, like you said, don't be picky about the plot holes, but there's so much stuff that doesn't make sense in the movie as well, you know, and it's just like, what is that guy, how did he know, doesn't that mean he knows he's Batman? Like, what's going on, you know? Because at one point in time, the Joker literally says, I was a kid when I killed your parents to Batman. Yeah. For him to know that, he would have had to have known who Batman was.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's weird that more people don't know who Batman is.
Oh, yeah. They're just,
to think that everybody is just sort of not talking about it because it would be, you know, they're just like, well, we could, like, make a big deal out of it, but he's a grown man that dresses like a bat. Let's just let him have his thing.
But it's the same thing with Clark Kent and Superman. Like, he takes off glasses, dude.
Okay, so I think that's really stupid, but also, I used to have what I called my Clark Kent problem.
Yeah.
Where, like, before, when I used to have glasses frames that I didn't like as much, anytime I went out, I would always wear contacts. So I really didn't wear my glasses if I was, like, I mean, if I was at work or whatever, but, like, if I was going out, like, to a bar or whatever, I would always wear contacts. And people would sometimes meet me when I was wearing my glasses and not recognize me. Yeah. It was super weird. And they were not like thick Clark Kent frames, which is kind of what I'm rocking now. They were like little wire frame. Like, it was like they were pretty minimal as glasses go.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. In the most insane example, a friend of mine had like a photo of me like dolled up in a dress, whatever, at like a party. And like a friend of hers looked at it and was like, hey, like, who's that girl? She's really pretty. Like, why don't you ever introduce me to her? And my friend was like, dude, you met her 2 weeks ago. Like, what are you talking about? And he was like, I've never met that girl. And I was like, no, but you have.
But
like,
you have.
And it's only been like 2 weeks. Like,
that's rough.
And he had no idea. And this like happened to me over and over again. People had no, so it's like super dumb, but also it has literally happened to me.
Yeah.
Okay. I like have to introduce myself again, and they're like, "Oh wait, what?" I'm like,
hi, remember me
I
from
don't
last
look
week?
that different.
Yeah.
Mind you, I had a friend whose husband, who was boyfriend at the time, literally met me about 8 times, and every time he was like, "Oh, it's nice to meet you." I was her only black friend.
Oh.
Okay. And every time he met me, he was
That's
like,
a whole
nice
nother level
you.
of weirdness.
Yeah. And I was like, met you last
This
week.
happened to me with people I'd met more than once who knew who I was too. It wasn't only strangers.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like there were people who would like come into the bar where I was working where I'd seen them a bunch of times, and they always would call me by name, and then they'd be like introducing themselves, and I'm like, what? One of us is crazy here.
Pretty much the only person you didn't fool was me, which is extra good because I am face blind, but also we live together, so I feel like it was easy
you could.
You're just like, what are you doing in my house?
Yeah.
You could live. Right, and I was probably wearing the same hoodie as you, which made it easier. Speaking of costuming problems, anywho.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so I guess people are sometimes. Well, but the Joker knew. But did Vicky Vale know who Batman was?
Yeah, because remember Alfred.
But when did she? No, but when did she figure it out? Is actually what my question
when
was.
she was inside the Batcave.
But that was also before the whole parade thing, so she knew at that point who he was.
Yeah, but she didn't so much figure it out as Alfred got tired of her nonsense.
Yes.
So
also, I know this one it was Alfred's fault, but throughout these movies, Bruce Wayne's like, "I met you. You're a woman. Guess who I am?"
He wants so hard. He just wants to tell people he's Batman. He just wants it off his chest.
You know,
he's so sick of living with all this man-hate.
I just don't get it. He's just like, you don't know who I am. I need you to know. Like, whatever.
It's
Just get a t-shirt, dude. You'll be
I mean, to be fair, he's like emotionally unavailable and an idiot anyway, so relationships are gonna be like a tough row for him to hoe. Yeah. The fact that he also has to like disappear to put on his rubber suit and solve crime, like
that's true.
You know, emotionally unavailable and keeps missing dinner dates, like
I don't know. He's about to meet the love of his life in the next movie,
which time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we'll move on to movie number 2, Batman Returns, which came out in...
It's time! It's finally!
It came out in 1992, and it's considered to... Well, it depends who you talk to. It's considered to be the best of these 4 movies.
All time.
But I have actually also heard people say that it's almost the worst one. Okay, I think that's stupid.
So this is where I confess that I did not rewatch this movie. I have not seen it since I was a child. When we started talking about doing this podcast, I think actually during the Christmas episode, I said I was absolutely in it for the terrible, trashy bat nipples era, but I had nothing intelligent to say about the Tim Burton movies, nor was that likely to change. I don't either, but it didn't stop me from sure. But also, I watched 3 Batman movies in under 24 hours, and it just reaffirmed how much I love Marvel, and I just couldn't do it. I'm sorry. But also, it's good because Leah has a lot to say, and even as a person who hasn't watched it since a child, this is not the worst one. Like, this is the best one.
No, it's I personally
I'm mad at myself that I didn't start with this one.
Yeah.
That's nonsense.
So, I'm really hoping most people know this, but this one is the one that has the Penguin and Catwoman as the villains, and Batman is Batman, and we also have Christopher Walken as a industrialist who is doing bad things.
God damn it! What was I doing with my life?
I don't know.
His name is Max Shrek.
Yeah. I mean, and
he's tell me all about how I failed
here. He's an ogre on the inside, not necessarily on the outside, but he's got like that, like I just got electrocuted hair.
Yeah.
And he does this like, there's like this thing where he's got like
contoured, like somebody contoured him with a T-square.
Yeah.
Like the eyebrows are white and everything under them is a dark brown.
Yeah. It's a very odd, makeup choicey
even for Christopher Walken.
Yeah. You literally have to say Christopher Walken in Batman Returns. Yep. It's very, very important.
Okay. I want to say my notes are copious.
Okay, for this one.
Most of them are exclamation points.
Mm-hmm.
Can confirm.
Yeah. But I wanted to just, at the very, very top of the movie, we open on the new parents of what is soon to be an unwanted monster.
Ooh, yes.
Ooh,
yes.
I see what you mean.
It's also
Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
So my first notes about this are, why did they put a 17-year-old in old man makeup? And then my second notes to myself are, self you idiot, that is Paul Rubens in that makeup.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So it's like one of my notes. It's Pee Wee Herman.
Pee Wee Herman is the Penguin's father.
Yeah. Actually, and the thing that I find
that's weird.
This is the best
Paul Rubens spawned Danny DeVito. Is that what they're trying to make us believe?
So hold on.
A big fiction off the top. All right.
So I didn't remember this at all, or maybe because the last time I watched it may have been like 15 years ago. No, less than that. But it's been a while. I didn't realize it was him. But of course, there's the TV show Gotham, which is about young Batman and everything, and they have the Penguin in the show. The Penguin's father shows up, and guess who it is?
No way.
Yes, it is. Yeah, they revisit that. They bring it back because I saw it. I'm like, wait a second, oh God, wasn't he his father on Gotham? And I'm like, IMDb and Google. I'm like, oh my God, it is. I was like, yeah, okay,
that's fab.
Yeah, they did a thing. And the weird thing is he looks the same in both.
That is weird.
Yeah, and because the way they dress his character, because his father in the show also is a rich socialite or whatever who left him and then comes back and whatnot, and so he comes back dressed in like these aristocratic suits and all this kind of stuff. So it's the same kind of visual look.
He's in old man makeup in the first one.
Mm-hmm. And he doesn't really age on a normal trajectory anyway.
Anyways, yeah.
So he has looked the same for like several decades at this point.
Yeah. So I was just like, oh, wow, okay, gotcha.
We checked about whether he is a vampire, because he was a vampire in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
We all acted that out, too,
yes,
in case anyone was
curious. We're all doing it.
It wasn't just sound effects.
And I have to admit as well, that whole sequence just reminds me of the Addams Family.
Yes.
Because when they show like the house and like their juxtaposition of them in black and the baby in the cage that's all black and it's very Addams Family-ish, because even like the wife is super vampy and with the hair and everything. Yeah. And then when so this is how horrible these parents are. Instead of like dropping it at like a fire station or an orphanage or something, they decide to it's getting an itch.
I think you meant him.
No, it's getting an itch.
Oh.
All right? Because at the time, you don't know what it is. You just know there's somebody had a baby and it's in a cage. That's all you know.
Family cat. They
It ate the
can't leave
cat.
it on the steps of the
Oh,
church.
no. That's not how that works.
No. So they take this baby in a black carriage and they're walking through the park in winter.
Yeah.
And they literally go to like a creek, go to the top of the creek, look over their shoulder, make sure nobody else is around.
Oh, yeah.
And pushes the thing over, all Moses style. It just goes like drifting through everything.
Which,
damn,
for the previous 89 seconds, first 89 seconds of the movie, the birth and, first glimpses of the monster's cage had been accompanied by the world's worst screeching noise. So for sure, 89 seconds in, I was like, I get it, you parents. You guys have lived with that thing for more than 1 hour.
Yes.
Into the creek it goes.
Yeah, it's like, no, we're not doing this.
Oh.
Yeah,
This
we're
is not
90
a thing.
seconds in, and the couple is rushing past the abandoned zoo full of oversized, broken down monsters.
So the zoo is
throw-
abandoned, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're rushing past the abandoned zoo to throw their cat-eating abomination baby monster off a bridge at Christmas while Danny Elfman does the audio equivalent of chewing the scenery in the background, and we're 90 seconds in and we are peak Burton.
Yes. No, seriously, like it is uber Burton. Like it's ridiculous.
My.
Like the music, the way
Like
the
worse than The
sets are
Shining
done and
screeching?
It's
Oh,
god,
no.
screeching.
It's a high
not
pitched
squealing, it's baby screeching.
Yeah.
Oh,
But they also, it's kind of like they turned it up a certain level as well.
Okay,
you know
stop.
what I mean?
So loud,
No.
so it's in my bones.
No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Well, it's because they wanted to make it sound like animalistic, not like a real baby who's crying. They're like, no, you have to realize this thing's a monster.
Which is ironic, because is there anything cuter than a baby penguin?
Actually,
Right?
baby penguins are kind of ugly.
But they're so ugly they come back around again.
Yeah, they do. I guess.
Yeah, I'm
The
just,
little-
just saying.
Yeah, but like that's the thing. Like
They would be
baby-
competitive in a baby animal cuteness contest.
The point
They
is,
would,
by
yes,
the time
I
you get to
agree.
second 90 and the parents are throwing this thing off the bridge, you're like, go parents.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
horrible
God.
that I was just like, yeah, I get what you're like. It's weird, but I get what you're doing. I understand
I
this.
see.
You know what I mean?
But yes, I cut you off. The zoo is abandoned.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Well, because that's the thing. Like, there's a weird, so technically this is a flashback, and then they jump what
33 years
33
later.
years in the future. Like again, he's Jesus apparently.
Yep.
What?
Danny DeVito is Jesus for sure. Alex, you're looking at me funny. Did you?
I mean, in this verse, sure, seems legit.
Yeah. I mean, he does actually. Now that I think about it, he does say he is resurrected when he comes back out of the ground. Oh, I didn't put that together. So yeah, he does. He does think he's Jesus / Moses. It's
So
a
90
Bible story.
So 90 seconds we're down for baby murder, and 120 seconons we've got Jesus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that hockey game. PT dubs.
I can't believe you were watching a hockey game while in the meantime melodrama was unfolding on the screen, and also
Bitch, it's the playoffs.
I can believe it.
Guys, we got some jocks in the house here. So yeah, how was the game, man, with the sticks and stuff?
Hockey comes in the fourth movie.
Oh yes,
Yes,
that's right.
yes,
Okay,
it
gotcha.
does.
Yes,
and
it does.
I
We'll get
literally
there
like
after.
was just like, what? And heard a snort from the other room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we're going to talk about dinosaur kung fu hockey ballet in a little bit, but
Yes.
Spoiler.
sorry.
So, but
Okay.
then, right after that, the 33 years later, you have the most ridiculously epic scene where Bruce is sitting in his mansion,
Yeah.
okay? Across town, they put on the bat signal,
Oh.
and then all of a sudden, you see these mirrors angle
I love
so that the
it.
bat signal, beams into his, what is it, a reading room with a
It's
giant
a library.
fireplace
I think it's a
library?
It's more than a
And
story.
he's all dramatic, just he stands up in front of it. The bat signal
Because
is
he has
over
to
his head, and he's just like, I must go, Alfred. And it's so. But the thing is, it never crosses that line to be. It's cheesy, but the right kind of cheesy. That it's it gets in your soul, and you're like, this is so epic. Not just what the shit is this? It's.
That's where they
there's
landed
that
in
thin
movie
line.
3 and 4. So
Yes.
I'm glad that they were still pulling it
Yeah,
off. Too.
and
yeah.
it's beautiful.
Do you
I'm gonna
think
tell
there's
straight now.
an equivalent of Tales from Your Server, like Tales from Your Butler? And do we think that Alfred is consistently the highest rated on it?
Yes. I would read all of Alfred's books.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
ask me about my Alfred movie idea when we get to number 3.
Okay.
Done. Oh God, this is a note we need to remember.
Yes,
Okay.
I will tell you, I was considering asking if we could start later so that I could write an outline down. I was like, no, we have 4 movies to talk about.
We have 4 movies, and we need the alcohol first.
Yeah.
At least I do.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Batman answers the call. Does he say I must go? Does he say anything? I don't think he speaks until 37 minutes into the movie.
Oh, he probably doesn't actually say anything. Like, I think he sort of just says it with his face. Like that's the thing about Michael
Keaton. The jawline tilt of superhero-ism.
Yeah. Like, he does such a good job of it. Like, you swear he says words, but he doesn't.
He might.
It's so
that
rare.
seems like the kind of thing that they would do.
Yeah.
Like, it would be super on brand.
Yeah. You know, like for example, one of the biggest epic things in it is he's like, oh, the soup is cold. It's what is it? Vichyssoise. He's like, nice he looks at him and he's like, it's supposed to be cold. Oh, and then he just keeps eating it, and I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, Alfred coming in with all the sass.
Damn right. He's like, I don't need to explain myself to you.
Jeez. Yeah.
World's greatest detective, and he doesn't know it's supposed to be cold.
I have World's Greatest Detective with no other notes so many times in my notes. It's just like, World's Best Detective.
Oh dear.
So we go into Gotham City.
Yes.
Just Gotham.
Yeah.
Just Gotham.
Batman comes in through a tunnel, which makes me think he's a bridge and tunnel guy. So, like, is there Gotham City proper, and then there's, like, Gotham equivalent?
Well, he's, like...
I think that's one of those Batman versus the Batman things where it depends on...
Alright, okay.
No, but I always
context?
believe that, like, Wayne Manor is one of those things that's on the outskirts of the city. You know, it's like... Because it's always, like, close to a cliff or something, or there's lots of greenery.
I'm sorry, are you trying to tell me that Batman lives in New Jersey?
Yes. You know what? Yes.
And we've lost Leah.
Yeah. No, but what is that what's that tunnel right before you get to New Jersey that's like on the there's that line that's like this is New York and this is New Jersey? He lives on like that edge that makes it New York still.
Alright, okay.
That's where he lives.
So he's perched on the cliff of trying to still live in New York?
Yes.
I mean,
that sounds...
his property so big that his parents didn't notice the giant cave when they bought it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the cave was there before.
It's true.
If we're accepting the third movie's canon. It's third, fourth, doesn't matter. It's all
It doesn't matter. Yeah,
doesn't matter.
It's fine.
Well, but the entrance didn't he like fall into it or something? Like, wasn't the entrance?
Yeah, it was
covered?
like it was like some like underground cave something.
But like there wasn't an obvious. But there wasn't an obvious entrance. It was like a sinkhole thing.
No, but it also depends what, like, if you get to the Christopher Nolan side, it was a well he fell into, so I don't know. I don't know. The kid's in the well.
Because he's a dumb bitch. Yeah, okay. Yeah, right.
There's that.
We go into Gotham. We go into the boardroom, which is a nice start. All these movies start in a boardroom.
Oh, yes.
Well, so far both. Then I think we abruptly take a detour from that.
Yeah.
And then they
have to remind...
hockey ballet. But this movie starts in the boardroom. You can see immediately, we are now in the 90s. The last boardroom was very mahogany. It was,
This was all very white, and it's kind of like this gray color, and everything's oversized and spaced out for some reason.
Chrome glass, quilted walls.
That's what I should have talked about in the other movie.
What?
Sorry. You know, like, the scene where, like, Vicky goes to his house for dinner and like they're at the table.
That is my clearest memory of seeing that movie the first time and just like laughing and just being like, what is this?
And like he has like such that rich man mentality. He's like, I don't even think I've ever been in this room before. I'm like, why are your house so fucking big?
Right. And it feels perfectly normal for him to put her at the end of the table and then also have to jump up and walk down there with the salt.
Alfred set those plates himself. He knew damn well what he was doing so that they would end up in the kitchen with him.
You think so?
So you could say embarrassing stories?
Yes.
That seems like more of a second date thing that Alfred would pull.
Alfred is like showing up on the front step with 3 suitcases and a birdcage after date 1. Like he wants Bruce Wayne married right now. Yesterday.
No, but cock blocking him is not the way to get there.
Well, but he didn't cock block him. No, he managed to break down that wall between the two of them.
That's true. But
he did that to them because 1, it was funny to watch, and then 2, he knew that Bruce Wayne was going to have to do something.
Right, he was going to choke.
But I also think it's a test for the girl to be like if she speaks up, even though this is Bruce Wayne,
That's true.
You know, this is the kind of person he needs in his life.
Oh my god,
you know?
Alfred is shit testing his women for him.
Boom!
Does this guy know how to do anything?
He knows how to do everything.
No, Alfred knows how to do everything.
Yeah. Oh, you mean Bruce Wayne? No, he doesn't do anything for
No,
himself.
he's staggeringly incompetent at literally everything,
really
except
is.
dressing in a rubber suit and knocking people out.
I mean,
apparently.
which is really likable to me.
Bruce Wayne or
Yeah.
Alfred?
No, Bruce
Oh,
Wayne.
Jesus.
I mean, Alfred.
We've
obviously
already
does
decided
it,
that, like, you know,
Alfred's the best character in
is the
everything.
man,
Yes.
but Bruce Wayne, he doesn't know how to do a lot of things, basic human things among them, and. I think we've all felt like that when, for the 86th time, I have to look up how many minutes you have to soft boil an egg or whatever.
Oh my god, every friggin' time.
Right?
Every time.
Now
I just make Jess hard boil my eggs.
5 and then hard boil is 10?
See, you're farther along.
But it's
Alfred
whether
than I
you...
am.
well, it's 20 if you put them in before the water boils. I don't know. I just make Jess hard boil my eggs now because I got tired.
It's 20 before you put
Isn't it?
I don't know. I always put my eggs in the water before it boils.
Yeah.
Listen, you guys, the point is, this is where I start to find Bruce Wayne kind of understandable.
Right.
Because he has very specialized skills and he lost all the basic human classes.
So what you're saying
That's
is we
true.
all need an Alfred in our lives.
Oh, for sure.
I thought we were taking that as read. I mean,
you're like, duh.
Yeah.
life would move more smoothly if it had an Alfred in it, obviously.
Oh, man.
It's true.
Yeah.
Could definitely use an
Although
Alfred.
I wouldn't want his eyebrows of judgment at some of my lesser decisions, I must confess.
Probably wouldn't make as many if you had to face the eyebrows of judgment every time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, that's fair.
You've seen my mom's unimpressed face. It is significant and terrifying.
Yeah. So, alright. Rolling back into this movie, we have entered the 90s.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But one thing I really like is the fact that the exterior of everything is very much the same as the first movie.
Yeah.
But as soon as you get to the interiors of buildings, that's when you're just like, oh shit, they've done like a redo, like a reno of like all of the buildings or something, you know, like they like, no, these are just all facades like they're doing in Toronto right now, which is garbage. But yeah, it's all facades, but the whole inside is new. That's what's happening.
Right.
I am here for it. Let me tell you. That crazy Selena Kyle's crazy apartment that looks like the inside of a Betsy Johnson warehouse.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it is like all pink.
Yeah.
All pink.
Yeah.
Really?
All the time pink.
Is it all pink? Oh,
Well,
yes, it was all.
It's not 100% monochromatic pink, but it really gives the.
It's definitely like bright colors.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot of bright colors. And like the weird like handwritten neon sign thing, like that is not something you go into a store and find for $50. Like that is something you're just like, hey, I wrote hello there on a piece of paper, make me a neon sign. Okay, that'll be $2,000. That's what that sign is.
I mean, there's no way
she decorated that herself.
It looks like she decorated the rest of her apartment. I mean, this is the thing. Selena Kyle came into New York. She's trying to live the dream as a lowly secretary. Assistant.
Yes.
But, you know, when she comes into the first meeting, like, right away, a little bit of, like, Selena Kyle is in all of us. It's just mousy, desperately tripping over herself. It's really good that they had those glasses on her. She's wearing glasses so that, you know, we're totally bamboozled and do not expect the greatest She's All That reveal in cinematic history later on.
It's true.
Which, you know, starts with her knocking out the letters of the neon sign, which is as iconic to me, like, for just me, as anything else in movies. Yeah. Because, well, I was going to talk about this a little bit later on, but now that I'm already talking about Michelle Pfeiffer, this movie taught me a very important lesson about myself. This movie and Terminator 2, where Linda Hamilton is doing the chin-ups. Yeah.
You gotta work out more?
No.
That's what I got out of it. I'm just like...
No, the other one.
No, the other one.
You're just like, oh.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah.
No, like, she is... Like, I know there was Eartha Kitt before that was, quote-unquote, the quintessential Catwoman. You know, Halle Berry tried to kill the quintessential Catwoman. And then there's, like, the revamp in the comic books and stuff. There's also the Selena Kyle from the animated series. But this Catwoman is, like, Catwoman.
This is Catwoman.
You know?
Yes.
And she does it so well.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah. And especially when she does that whole thing, and she does the whole...
yeah.
Sorry, what?
I'm just worried that you're not going to be able to hear Leah very well.
Sorry, yeah.
Because we both keep getting further
and further back.
Yes.
But
Sorry.
one thing I like about her is that she does the exact same thing that Batman does, which is she has her mousy voice, but then she has her, like, deep voice when she's Catwoman. And when she says, meow... it's so good. It's so good. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I just love it.
I remember that.
Love
actually,
her. Yeah.
And
she's great.
Previous to that, what I didn't remember is that Selena Kyle is quite. They do a little bit of work to make her quite a likable character.
They do.
A lot more
She's a very. Even after her change, where she's not as mousy. They make her still a very likable person. You understand why she's upset, why she'd want revenge. And even in her two personalities, she's like, I'm doing it for the women. Like, you know, I'm a woman. All these men are putting me down.
Yeah.
This isn't right.
Also, her mother has some kind of attitude.
Yeah. And her, what is it? Her boyfriend who breaks up with her over the phone. Like, answering machine.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Like, what is it, Selena? I was talking to my therapist, and I can't be your appendage. Yes.
She's so like some appendage.
Yeah, and they were going on like a trip together for Christmas or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's why her mother was calling, because she was upset she wasn't going to show up for Christmas, because I guess she was going to go with the boyfriend, and now she's going to be alone for Christmas.
Well,
it's garbage.
No wonder girl's angry.
Right.
Yeah.
And at the same time that this is happening, Batman is getting car TV calls from Alfred, who is also trying to like press him to be normal, and also like they're getting these like passive aggressive calls from their parents. Like, of course they're made for each other.
Of course.
I like it. I like it.
So she
has to go back to the office.
Back to the office, right? First, she feeds her cat milk, which can we stop feeding cats milk?
Yeah, adult cats are mostly lactose intolerant. Stop doing it.
Yeah,
it was a different time.
It wasn't that.
Yeah, but you know what?
It was a long-ass time ago. We were in elementary school.
I know.
Now we're grown-ass women.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Stop feeding cats milk.
We're quote-unquote adults. I'm putting lots of quotes as I look at my toys. It's fine.
Sure. Yes. But I mean, chronologically speaking.
Yes.
She leaves herself a message to say, Selena, you idiot, if you're home and listening to this message, you have to go back to the office because you forgot the Wayne file and the big meetings tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which I've done. I don't know if you guys have done that. You just walk in the door of your house and you're like, fuck, and you walk back in.
Oh, yeah. Yes. No, I have done that a few times. It's really frustrating. Yeah.
So she goes back to the office, and Max Schreck, Christopher Walken, is there, right?
It's disconcerting.
Or catches her or something, because wasn't he at like a party or something and came back? He was at the tree lighting that went wrong.
She forgot to give him his speech.
Yes.
This is really all her fault.
Yes.
Yeah. Because then he comes back and he finds her poring over the secret Wayne file, and she mentions that she's actually also opened the sealed files just to have a really good thorough look through them, and she's a little confused about Max Schreck's plans for a power plant, because it doesn't look like he's going to generate any power. It actually looks like he's going to be sucking power from the city and maybe doing something else with it, and she's not really sure how that factors into anything, but she just wanted to be a really good assistant and read all the files, and then Max Schreck for sure pushes her out the nearest window.
Yes. So
yeah.
So my biggest question about this, which has always been a question about this movie, at that point in time, she's not quote-unquote Catwoman, doesn't have 9 lives, right?
Yeah.
So does that make her a zombie?
That is a good question. So she falls into the snow, motionless. The cats come and swarm around her. One of the cats starts
chewing.
Chew on her fingers.
Yeah.
Which I would take issue with, except that I have had exactly the same experience. Mine sometimes doesn't even wait for me to put the spray bottle down before, to put it aside before he starts, trying to get a bite in.
Yeah.
So I can kind of get that. Cats are fucking ruthless, man. They don't But
extremely mercenary creatures.
Yeah, I love them. They're great.
They are the best. So they all swarm around her. She wakes back up.
But she's all twitchy.
She is real twitchy.
Yeah.
And she walks into her house kind of zombie-y. Like, she sort of opens the door, drops all her things.
Hold on. And also, before that, the fall isn't like a 1 or 2-story drop based on...
Way up there.
This is 15, 20, 30 stories. She falls out of a window of a building.
Well,
So...
I probably wouldn't be walking real smooth after that either.
Yeah,
but
I'm
no,
like,
no, that is weird. She's some sort of cat zombie?
yeah, that's literally what I have written down. Is she a cat zombie?
Yeah.
That's what I put down, because I'm like,
That's weird. That's creepy.
Yeah.
Once she heats back
Doesn't
up,
she get-
heats back up, I can tell you.
Doesn't she get down with Bruce Wayne later?
Yeah,
Yes.
well, that's the thing. The zombie thing is sort of short-lived.
Yeah, like, because all she
good.
does is she goes home, she starts knocking things down, she starts drinking milk. I don't know, pours milk all over the place. Changes her neon sign from "Hello there" to
Hell here!
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And she pulls
I
out
was
her.
small when this came out. That was the smartest thing I had
Ever
ever seen.
seen? It's great. It's great. Then she pulls out her patent leather raincoat and gets to some good seamstressing.
We know that she has special cat powers because she was able to sew in peace with all those cats in her apartment.
Yes, she was. Yeah,
Yeah.
they let her do what she needed to do.
Or sat on her head.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, she's their queen now.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
it. That's it.
But there's like a lot. Like I love cats, but there's like a lot of them in her apartment. Like,
They are. There's like 15, 20 years.
Oh.
They just keep walking in the window and they just keep showing them.
Also, I'm not sure that
At you.
raincoat has enough material in it for her to do what she needs to do, and I'm not sure.
Well,
if
listen.
like, buying a black leather raincoat, or black latex raincoat, but you know what? All of these things, I'm not that worried about.
No.
It doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, I would rather creative license than Halle Berry's outfit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, I must admit that Catwoman suit, like, because even when they show close-up of it later, it's not a perfectly made suit. It's widely, it reminds me of, Corpse Bride. Like, you know, like, the wide stitches and the different places.
Yeah, it's Sally.
Yeah, and it's like,
her arm back on.
yeah,
Sure.
and it rips apart in certain areas and stuff. It's not perfect.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. But one of the things I've realized in all superhero movies is that superheroes and supervillains are amazing seamstresses.
Yes.
They can put together.
I like
the most
that the
amazing
later
outfits.
movies are just like, oh no, Alfred is just a badass who like does this for a living.
He's also the mechanic. He's also the tailor.
Yeah. But they
But it's not even.
They just,
a
like,
tailor.
address
It's-
it.
He glues together rubber suits.
Yeah, I think that's what you're
tailor?
manufacturing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. So I don't know, but even like this one, you've got like Two-Face and stuff. Like who is he getting to stitch together two completely?
Well, to be
different suits and all
fair,
that kind of stuff?
all of these complete maniacs have the ability to attract henchmen in droves, right?
Mhm.
So there must be a slightly higher tier that are like costumers of lunatics or whatever, right? Like,
Yeah.
Doesn't need no henchman.
Yeah. No, she's
no,
good all
she just
by
gets
herself.
shit done, but she's a lady, so that's different.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like it.
I was also very entertained by the fact that when she first does her heist at the store and she blows it up.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, she shows up with a whip, which
Yes.
makes me think, girl's kinky. She had a whip in her closet. That's all I can think of.
I mean, doesn't everybody?
She gets the whip from the sporting goods store, I thought.
Is that where she gets it from?
Yeah, there's some tinkering with some outdoor goods.
There is. That is very true.
Yeah.
But I prefer to think that she showed up with it and she was
I
kinky and was
accept your
hiding.
headcanon, it's mine now too.
Yeah. Then.
I wouldn't know where to find a whip in a sporting goods store. So
Yeah, I
It's
don't.
an American
Good on her
sporting
either
goods
way.
store, maybe next to the guns. I don't know.
I guess she couldn't really fit one of those Joker guns down those pants.
Yeah, that's your real
Nothing
issue.
behind us.
No,
Yeah.
no, that would not. That would be not
Yeah.
be neither right nor subtle.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of costumes, while all of this is going on, which
Mhm.
is really the most important part for me.
Yeah.
While all of this is going on, it's worth noting that the Penguin has turned into a full-on villain and is hiding out in the abandoned zoo.
Well, he's grown up, yes, and has his what's the gang? It's a specific gang name they call them.
Red Triangle.
Triangle Circus. Thank you.
Red. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
See, look at you. You know.
I read the Wikipedia.
Thank
Oh.
you.
By which I mean, like, I read like 3 sentences of it before we started recording, and then it was like, no, never mind. Wee! I retained a thing.
He has a whole circus squad with him of
Oh
Mhm.
God.
and women. Which, if we're talking about seamstresses and outfits in general, they do not have outfit replacing capacity. And what does it smell like in the abandoned Arctic World exhibit where now the circus
No.
troupe lives with
Well,
the
that's the thing.
We're
Every
going to a dark
time-
place again.
Yeah, every time Shrek gets down there, remember he literally
Yeah.
has like a thing. He's like, "Oh my, yes,
Yeah.
penguin," you know, like
Smells
he
like-
is covering his nose. It's obvious that it reeks down there. Like it reeks.
Yeah.
You know, and also the
Ew.
penguin obviously hasn't taken a shower or a proper bath or anything in a very long time.
Swimming around in that penguin water.
Yeah. I mean, I know that Danny DeVito isn't the most, classically Adonis shapely individual, but how they put together that costume to shape him is revolting.
It is truly revolting.
It is revolting. Like, it's just this weird, circular, you know, and they do way too much with him and his onesie and back shots where it's like, and there's like a very clear extra stain on the crack, and you're just like, I don't need, why is this necessary?
Why am I looking at
it's
this?
just, you know.
Yeah. Gross.
Yeah, and I love the part where he goes to visit his parents at the cemetery. Like, he found whose parents are, and he, you know, he's by their gravestones, and he kneels down, and it's snowing because it's Christmas, it's winter,
right?
You know, so it's fresh white snow everywhere, and he kneels, and he gets up to go back, and it's just like a giant brown patch. And they're just like, it's disgusting. It's all gross. Yeah.
All I can picture is Pumbaa from The Lion King right now.
That's actually less joyous, though. Less joyous, but about right.
Well, but the all the grass dies and everything.
It's a lot like
that. That's disgusting.
It's really disgusting.
Ew.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Yeah. Cheers.
So naturally, he blackmails Max Schreck, which I do not like the political parallels where he tries to blackmail Max Schreck first. With all the regular horrible things he's done, but if you don't help me, I'll tell the city about how you've been polluting the river. And he's like,
No, he's like, you don't have evidence. And he was like, oh, your garbage is my treasure. And he pulls out all the stuff that's been shredded, and he stuck it back together.
Though, it's not the regular crimes that he's worried about. He's like, you don't have evidence.
So
or
he's
that
Trump?
was a long time ago. Until finally he's like, I have evidence that you murdered a person.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, fine, what do you want to do? But watching it now, I'm like, that's not going to stop him.
No.
Really, evidence that he murdered a person is pretty small in the grand scheme of things. So I did not like that part.
No, it's a little uncomfortable in these dark days.
Yep.
I mean, always, but especially in these dark days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, okay. So now Max Schreck is on board with Penguin and the Red Triangle Circus crew?
Yes.
Amongst the Red Triangle Circus crew is a group, or all the sort of Burton circus people you would think, including somebody called the Poodle Lady.
Oh, classic.
Who, as far as I can tell, this is just a woman in pink and a Marie Antoinette wig
who has a poodle. Yes.
That is so much less dire than I was anticipating. That's fine.
She's just this she's Victorian looking, like Marie Antoinette. That's not kind of looking. And she just has a little white poodle.
Oh, there's a fucking weirdo on the crew? Imagine that.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, what kind of circus attraction is this?
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, where is
second-rate
all the
one
Catwoman fanfiction, and where can I read it?
Oh, wow.
But they don't really interact, though. Like,
that has never stopped any fanfiction.
That is true. That is very, very
Come
true.
now. Have you heard of Phil Coulson?
Yes, we have. He has had fanfic with all of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of okay with it.
I'm saying.
Bring it on, y'all.
It's out there somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Just gotta do a little bit digging for it. You'll find it.
Yeah.
What else do we want to talk about?
Batman's gross. Programmable Batwing.
Can we go back to when Bruce Wayne walks into Max Schreck's office after Selena Kyle returns as Selena, and Max has just gotten done telling Bruce that she's taken an extended vacation.
Mm-hmm. Yes, of course she has.
Yes.
Because he's a murderer.
So he chucked her out a window.
Yes,
that'll do that.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
She shows up, and she is profoundly unsettling to the gentleman involved.
Yeah. Also, I think she looked, even though they didn't do that much different to her look yet, it's just her demeanor, and she still has, the frazzled hair, but she's not wearing the glasses. And she just looks all of a sudden great.
Yep.
And even Bruce Wayne is just like, I'm mesmerized by this. And Shrek's just like, fuck. I'm in trouble.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Yeah, there's that great exchange when they're in the elevator, which is as good as anything Joss Whedon ever came up with. She's like, I'm listed. Oh, I'm tempted. I'm working. And then he's like, the elevator starts closing. He's like, I'm leaving?
So one thing I noticed in the two scenes in Max Schreck's office right? And I thought it was very telling about the type of workspace that she's had to work in, is that there are literally no other women in those scenes besides her, which means it is a completely male-oriented workspace, and she happens to be the lone woman who's the exec assistant / secretary / whatever to the head guy who's just a jerk.
He's just horrible to her.
Yeah.
He jokes about how bad her coffee is and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
no, that's the one thing he compliments her on, is that she makes good coffee.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Yep.
I remember that. She's late. She's a mess. She's, because she has like an idea, but then of course she gets flustered and she's like, well, it's more of a question, and they just make fun of her, so it's like, it shows the type of environment that she's in the first place, and why she's so trying so hard to win them over, and B, when she changes to like Catwoman, she's just like, screw this, like, why am I trying to impress these people? I can do whatever I want.
Girl.
Yes.
I definitely chose to watch literally all the wrong movies.
You did. I'm sorry. I
mean,
well, meanwhile, in the abandoned Arctic World exhibit, where clearly nobody has thought to look for the penguin, what is going on here, people?
I don't know. Well,
there must be something in the water in Gotham, honestly, because people don't.
Yeah.
They don't react to things with the right level of anything ever.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Like, not even once.
Yeah. Unless it's like imminently attacking them, they're just like,
No, but no, not even when it's imminent. Like, people have to literally be like firing guns in their directions, and all of a sudden they're like, bleh! And then they like run in a circle instead of just like figuring out the nearest exit. Like,
yeah. No, it's true. Well, and this is one of
bystanders are a hot mess.
Yeah. This is one of the reasons why I was confused about the whole zoo thing. And not because I think the penguin was in the penguin exhibit at the zoo. I thought he was like below it in like a secret section or something. Because if you pay attention to the movie, like when they go to the park and stuff, there's people walking in the park, right?
Yep.
So it's like, is it just like is it like Central Park, where it's a big park and there's the Central Park Zoo, but just this part is closed? Or is it completely an abandoned huge park? Is it, like, how is this interacting with the community around it? And that was my problem with it. Like, it didn't look dilapidated or destroyed when it obviously had been abandoned for about 33 years. I think it would have looked like, much worse condition than it was.
It's in pretty rough shape in the first shots with Cobblepot's parents. You can see it really falling apart in the background. So presumably the park is open, the zoo is closed, and the Arctic World exhibit has just held up kind of well
against like everything.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go with that. Sure.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, is that the thing that we need the explanations of?
Fair. Yes, that's fine.
Not the rubber bat suit.
So Shrek pulls Cobblepot out of the Arctic World exhibit and into the bright, harsh world of fluorescent lighting and image consultants.
Because they've concocted a plan for him to become mayor. Because the mayor is not on Shrek's side for his building this whatever that he's building.
Oh, good. And the smelly amorphous guy who lives in the penguin exhibit sounds like an excellent candidate. Well, sounds like our mayor. No, our former mayor.
Both of them together? It's fine.
No, not our current mayor. He's lovely.
And,
also great manners.
Yes. Well. Yes. He would not be on Max Shrek's side either.
No. So, the image consultants, I wanted to say, I think the image, aside from all of the Catwoman stuff, aside from that, if we have to think of something else, it's the image of the penguin biting John the image consultant's nose, and the blood just spraying out of his face that I remember most from this movie.
Oh my god, I remember that too.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
The crunch is so good. This whole movie is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but also, there's a lot of weird curviness in this scene. The penguin is a weird curve.
He is a very weird, and that's not the only time that he does it. Because I think it's because he hasn't interacted with more women besides the people in his gang, all of a sudden he's just like, I'm an adult man and there's boobs around me and these people are actually attractive. I'm gonna say very dirty things.
The French flipper trick. If you need me, I'll be throwing up forever.
Yes. Yeah.
I'd like to fill her void.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Yeah.
That's gross,
What? But even like the whole stuff he says to the Catwoman, like that whole scene, you know, it's like me in the mayor's office, you in lingerie with a glass of martini, you know.
Yeah. We'll have 6 or 7 of them, of course.
Yeah.
Dogs?
Oh my god.
It's so...
You'd have to have 6 or 7 martinis to think that was a good idea.
Yeah.
It really did sound like Gaston, just for that one moment, which is really the only way in which he's like Gaston.
Yes.
But it came out of nowhere in that scene for me. Like, maybe it was elsewhere, but I didn't catch it, and I did not like it.
No. Well, because the other problem, too, is that he's in the middle of eating the innards of a raw fish, right?
Oh.
Like, so what had happened
it's like cocktail wiener guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Should we stop the podcast so you can tell all of the listeners about Cocktail Wiener Guy?
Yes, please.
Oh, it's not a long story, but it's the same kind of deal if he's like macking on her and snacking on a fish.
Yeah. Almost.
When I was like, I don't even know if I was legal yet, but I used to work in like the neighborhood video store. And it had a giant porn section, as they do. So our customers were sort of a mixed bag. And there was one dude who would always come in on my Friday night shift. And like, you know, rent new releases, rent porn, whatever. He was always baked. He had a really like thick accent, so his conversation was kind of random anyway. And then also whatever. But one night he came in and my coworker wasn't there that he usually talked to, so he was talking to me and he was like hardcore hitting on me. Meanwhile, like I know his wife. Because they're regulars. God, the story just gets added more layers. It gets worse. So he's trying to hit on me. He's like obviously just like stoned out of his mind. He's trying to like hit on, oh hey baby, whatever, blah blah blah. I'm only catching like 1/3 of whatever creepy shit he's saying to me. But while he's doing this, he has got one of those tiny convenience store cans of Vienna sausages in one hand and a plastic fork in the other. And he is literally taking bites of a Vienna sausage between inappropriate come-ons to like a 17-year-old. And I was just like, I don't even know what to address about this. Like, the smell would be the first thing that I would object to, and then we'll get to the creepiness of this.
There's so much going on in that scene. There's just so much going on. Sorry, I just had a flashback when you said the thing about the fish guts, because, I mean, it's a pretty bold choice to hit on somebody creepily while you're eating anyway. Yeah. But, like, don't make it something that's also extra smelly and sloppy and gross. And weird. Like, this has been my TED Talk. No, but who snacks on cocktail weenies while at a video store? Extraordinarily stoned lunatics. Like, it just doesn't make... Who eats those things anyway? I don't even... I think like drinking Chef Boyardee out of the can. Like, that's weird. No, it was super, super demented, and so it's always been like my gold seal, like disasterpiece theater being hit on story. I'm sorry. I need to see some sort of video reenactment of the scene. Oh, you can't. No, that won't help though, because you can't smell the wieners. It was just on video. That stuff smells rank. Out of all of the phrases said on this podcast so far, you can't smell the wieners is probably the best thing you'll ever hear. Oh my God, sorry, Mom. I feel like we might revisit that in Batman and Robin. Yeah. But anyway, put a pin in it for now. Woo! Okay. And we've lost Leah again. Oh, I don't have anything else to say. You're the one with the copious notes. And now we return to our regularly scheduled program. Like, what? I'm so sorry, you guys.
Oh, I can't read my notes, I'm crying.
That's hilarious. I love it. I love it. Yeah. Okay. That's a good story to have. Yeah. Oh, it was a real moment in time for me. Yeah. Where I don't even know where the penguin is a disgusting, lecherous creep who smells bad, and you're not into him. And
also, Premiere goes badly.
No, but at first it goes well. Because people are just like, you're creepy and weird. But now, what did somebody call him something? He's like, what is it? He's like, we thought he was a beast, but really he's a beauty on the inside, or some nonsense they say. Like, it's horrible. Well, like, it's horrible and cheesy. Yeah.
He attracts a cult following right away when he's like, I just want to know who my parents are. Because right away at the beginning of the movie, it's like, extra penguin sighting. So Penguin is standing in for Batman in this beginning of the movie. So.
Oh, because he saves, so there's a press conference. And the mayor's baby gets quote-unquote kidnapped. Oh, it's a setup, right?
Right,
and then the penguin quote-unquote saves the baby.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So then he asks the mayor for a favor. I just want to go to the records to find out who my, you don't know me, you're scared of me because you don't know who I am, and even I don't know who let me go get to the records and
Phantom.
Get my babies and blah, blah, blah. Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then, so at first, they throw him up for a bid for mayor. He's got his cult following.
Yeah.
But then, of course, Batman finds out who he is, has a record of him saying horrible things, and in the middle of a press conference, cuts in and plays him saying bad thing on his Bat CD player. We know this because when he closes it, it's got a big bat symbol on it. It also allows him to scratch his thing because the top's open. It's really weird. So then
technology doesn't obey usual laws around that guy.
No. So then, because of that, he's demonized again. Right?
Excellent.
Did I get that order correct?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Dear Gotham, don't trust dudes in purple suits.
He's not even in purple.
He's not in purple yet? Doesn't he have purple? Doesn't he have purple? Why
no,
do I think
purple? He always
is
dresses in a penguin suit.
I thought he had purple.
No, he's got an umbrella thing, but not a purple thing, which, I thought penguins were tuxedos. Where does the umbrella thing come from?
I don't know, but it's been around for a very long time.
That's very weird. Anyway. Right, so shortly after that, I think we have the nauseating Penguin Catwoman summit.
Yes.
Are we there?
No, that happens just after he has a bid for mayor, and he goes back upstairs, and she's there. Yeah. Yeah. That's that part where she's also like, I'm feeling so happy. I think I'll clean myself right now, and she just starts licking herself.
Yeah.
Whoa. And it's a whole thing.
Yeah, no, it's bad. It's bad. But again, what I like about it is it's shot in the light. Like, it's daytime, as close to daytime as Gotham ever gets.
Right.
And these two weirdos are being weird at each other in a way that they are just talking right past each other. It really highlights.
Well, he's trying to be like, I'm hitting on you, and she's like, ew.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they know they have the same goal and they want to work together, so they concoct a plan.
Yes.
To demonize the Batman.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of, it's oddly lit, and it's supposed to be gross but seductive at the same time, and they're both
nothing about this sounds seductive.
It's so gross.
It's gross, and they're both sitting on like a bed, and like the penguin's lying down, and she's sitting up, and she's just licking her arm.
Okay, stop.
Like
all
it's
right,
a weird
thing.
Yeah. But we go from there to her walking with Selena Kyle walking with Bruce Wayne, and they let Selena Kyle keep the red lipstick, which I think is a great touch, because this is new empowered Selena Kyle. She is talking about how dare the papers say she's 140 pounds.
Yes.
Right, that is fucking rude.
It is. It's very rude.
Even if it's true, it's fucking rude.
And they're trying to plan a dinner date, except both of them, one of them has plans to save the day, and the other one has plans to spoil it. So
yes.
Like,
I might have to take off later. I mean, that's kind of good because their schedules really overlap, right? Well,
so they just can't. So they settle on dinner at 5, which is psychopathic.
Yeah.
But the two of them just walking along, and they have genuine chemistry, and they're good. Like,
oh, that's good because I feel like that's a problem that a lot of these movies have. Is like the chemistry is with the wrong people, or like.
Yeah, they have really good chemistry together, and you're just like you can feel the attraction between the two of them.
And I just wanted them to go get milkshakes and have fun, and maybe hear Alfred tell some embarrassing stories, and that feels like
that's the goal, right?
Like I just wanted the most wholesome thing for those two after watching that bizarre summit meeting where she swallows tries to swallow the penguin's pet bird in. It's a literal pet bird, and that's not euphemism, in her mouth, and then
thank God.
He's threatening her cat with a knife that's at the end of his umbrella, and you're just like, what's happening?
See, it's not a good meeting, is what I'm saying.
No, these people should not work together.
So talking about that interaction where you see Selena and Bruce really connect, what I find interesting about it, this is out of all of the Batman stories I've read and seen, this is the only version of it where Selina and Bruce Wayne fall in love, not Catwoman and Batman. Right? Because usually what the story is that Batman and Catwoman are attracted to each other, and that's why she...
That's fair,
But in this movie, it's clear that, yes, they do banter, but and she is using her feminine wiles to come at him, but he's really not having any of it.
Yeah.
And he's trying to be, like, especially their first encounter, where he fights back, because at first he doesn't know what to do. He's just blocking her attacks and then throws her down. He's like, how could you? I'm a woman. And then he's like, oh my god, I am so sorry. But that's because he's used to being chivalrous.
He's
right?
training, bless his little heart.
Yeah,
and
he doesn't know what to do.
He doesn't know what to do.
That's
but
fair.
at the same time,
she's trying to kick your ass, fight back. But
fight back. So she's using that against him, right? But there's definitely, like, the way they played is, like, there's definitely no real sexual attraction between Batman and Catwoman, whereas with Selina Kyle and if you pay attention, there really isn't.
I think she's been paying closer attention based on that.
I don't know.
There are scenes in which there is attraction, but it does not guide their relationship in any way.
I think it's false and trite.
It's not based on personality. Let's put it that way.
It's true, yeah. But the thing, what I'm saying is that she's acting like she's attracted to him.
Yes.
To, use her womanliness against
bamboozle.
him.
The word you're looking for is bamboozle him.
Yeah. And he's just, and as Batman, he's just confused and he's playing along with it.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's any legitimate attraction between Catwoman and Batman.
Certainly not in the way that there is between Selina Kyle and Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. And so that's what I find really interesting about it, is because all the Batman stories I've read, comic books, TV shows, other movies and stuff, it's always the other way around. And so I found it really interesting that I think it was good in this context that they did it that way. And I found it very interesting that they did it that way. So that's all I want to say about it, yes.
But when Bruce and Selina get together at the dance, there is palpable chemistry.
Oh, yes.
It is right there.
And I have to say, she looked amazing. And again, it was one of those things where I know the whole back is open, but none of the front is open. And you see her from the front 90% of the time. Yep. Yeah. It's all the way, it's a boat neck, low back thing. Yeah. 3/4 sleeves, all glitter, black. And her hair is French roll in the back, little curls at the top, and she looks amazing. She's stunning, and she's absolutely stunning in it.
She's not here to be a piece of ass, so
and that's the thing that I like about these movies. Like, now with movies, for a woman to be beautiful or attractive or alluring, it's a little skirt or everything's got to be skin tight, that kind of thing, and you're just like, no, you can be a beautiful and alluring and show almost nothing. You know what I mean, right?
Is it ironic that Joel Schumacher got that so wrong? Like, is it ironic because he's gay, or is it just like, does it make perfect sense because he doesn't know what an alluring woman is like from any sort of personal experience?
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
It might be that.
I don't know. Like, I think, a lot of male fashion designers are super gay and they get it. Yeah. So I don't know if that's an excuse, really.
I don't know. There's a lot. Well, whatever. We're not there yet. Anywho.
So the penguin interrupts the dance.
Yeah, it's a masquerade ball of rich people. I don't remember why the masquerade ball was happening.
It doesn't matter.
Because reasons. But if you live in a city with as many insane costume supervillains as Gotham, why in the holy hell would you ever host a cocktail party or costume party? Excuse me.
I don't know.
They do have a lot of.
They have so many, and it's just don't do that. That is how that is how criminals infiltrate your ballroom and cause all manner of chaos.
Again,
it's so it's like Criminal 101. Come on. Get to wear a mask? Great.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, is it's always the party, it's always the super rich people. Like, let's all gather in one place.
I mean, that does happen in real life. But,
but they also have masquerade. I'm assuming
they're usually charity dinners, so you need the super rich people because you need their money. But
they are all getting on down with their bad selves in their sequin dresses to a Muzak cover of Super Freak, which is a nice touch.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, that's equal parts horrifying and heartwarming.
Like I was listening to it, I'm like, I know what this is. What is this? And I couldn't put it together. So yeah, I'm glad you cleared that for me.
No problem.
Reigning soundtrack queen over here. Yeah.
No, jeez, no, that was a very rare fluke shot for me. But then the dance floor literally explodes.
Yes.
Penguin comes up like the Underminer from The Incredibles.
Yeah. But he's in a giant duck.
Yeah.
Love it.
And in the back of the like a Tim Burton-y kind of evil rubber ducky.
It's not even evil. Like, it's just like a rubber ducky that's been left out in the sun for too long and weather.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, it's a bit, it's still yellow, it's still got the face, but it's kind of scratched, It's like the giant one that they had over here like 2 years ago.
Oh, don't hate. That was adorable.
It was adorable. But this one is
dead
not
eyes.
that. It's a different kind of
into my
adorable.
soul.
It's Tim Burton adorable.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I saw it.
It was so cute.
I mean, it's a rubber duck.
I don't know. We watched its hilariously slow progress all the way across the waterfront as like a whole group of us like followed along the window. I work in an office. It's right on Queens Quay. And yeah, it was like a whole group that like started in one corner and just like went window to window. Like
and followed across.
Yeah, it was like, like kids at a soccer game, like following the, it's just like a clump of people. And then it was like, okay, we can't see it anymore. Everyone downstairs. Yeah. So,
that's fantastic.
Yeah. We were pro duck. Anywho.
In the back of this duck are a bunch of teeny tiny penguins with little teeny tiny mind control device helmets on and little teeny tiny rockets strapped to their backs. It is the cutest invasion in the whole world.
It is. It really is.
I kind of love that.
Yeah.
No, it's great.
And then he's there to kidnap Shrek, but his son's like, no, take me instead. No, it's the other way around. No, he's there to kidnap Shrek's son because he's all for stealing the firstborn of all the rich people who are at the party.
It gets very Old Testament.
Yeah,
oh my god,
that's very Old Testament.
This guy is
the whole Penguin Pendants Day speech.
Yeah.
To the little Go My Pretties, Fly My Pretties.
Yeah.
As they take over the
oh
city.
my god, this guy sounds like
a
tedious loser. All right.
All the firstborn sons.
So I must admit, like,
all right,
I'm gonna go slightly political. So they show the scene where they're getting the kids that were clearly coming out of bed. They're in their pajamas, taken from their parents' house, and all I can think of was like, oh, you're taking children from their parents and putting them in cages. Gotcha.
Because you are very clearly a supervillain, because nobody else would ever think that was an acceptable idea.
Yeah. I'm telling you, he's probably watching Batman the night before. He's like, oh, that's what we should do.
I got it.
That's what we should do.
Oh my
Done.
God.
And that's all I can think of. And like him pontificating about why this is good for the city and the blah, blah, blah. And he doesn't say the term draining the swamp, but he says something about, reducing the wealth to a certain level or blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
and I'm
dear.
just like, are you shitting me right now?
It's not good.
No.
It's not good in any way.
No.
So you have taken very insightful notes.
Okay.
Oh boy. This is before widespread CGI. How many penguins were in that room?
No, like it was clear. Like that's true. Like that sequence that happened
they were
after.
real penguins?
Or penguin puppets.
Yeah. So
either way, adorable.
I love it.
So if you pay attention, all of the little penguins are actually, a lot of them are real penguins. So when they have like the monitors across it and you see the penguins doing stuff, those are just like cameras they had set up somewhere, and they had the penguins in little outfits, and they're like, do something. I think they only had like 15 or 20 actual like penguins.
Excuse me, only? I have 0 penguins. I feel like they were doing pretty well.
But so there's scenes with big empire penguins that walk around. Mm-hmm. They are actually credited as people in their. So they were like people in like suits.
So when you were just holding your hand 4 feet off the ground, you weren't exaggerating? They were...
Yeah, they were like, they're like this big. Yeah, there's a person in there.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
So I thought that was fun.
Yeah. My other notes are trying to figure out if it's funnier that it's Penguin Pendants Day or Independence Day.
Independence Day.
Okay.
100%.
We're interrogating the text from 2 slightly different perspectives. That's what I'm trying to
that is very true, yes.
Oh my god.
Also, one of my big notes over here with like a large question mark on there, I was like, bat stationary? We're going a little far, aren't we?
he doesn't.
Stationary is the mark of a crazy.
Yeah, well, probably all the stationery otherwise in his house says, like, Wayne Enterprises or, from the desk of Bruce Wayne or from the butler of Bruce Wayne or what the hell ever, so he can't be sending Penguin or Batman notes on that.
Can't you just have, like, a sticky note, like a random sticky note and be like, here?
No.
Would you ever hand Alfred a sticky note?
Yes.
I would, to see the face he would make.
He'd be like, excuse me, so
and then he would go out and order you a bunch of custom stationery, so I think we know how this all came to be.
Yeah.
No, I would think he has his own printing press.
Yeah,
because he needs to keep his identity secret.
Oh, yes,
right?
that's true. Do we think there's a giant, like, Xerox somewhere in the Batcave?
Yeah.
There probably is.
I really do. I
mean,
really do.
He must have a whole sweatshop team.
Do you think so?
Yeah. There's too much, like, mass fabrication happening otherwise.
Yeah.
That's true.
There has to be, like,
Maybe Alfred's got a front business?
I don't know, but there's got to be another, like, the Batcave can't account for all the stuff that they manufacture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even, like, the creation of the actual Batmobile, somebody, even if he's the mechanic and fixes it, somebody had to fabricate the pieces to put that together.
Exactly.
So there would have to be a whole team or something to do that. Who knows?
Or a whole network of places that only manufacture certain things, so they can't figure out what it all looks like when it gets together.
Exactly.
Oh, that's right. He's got like a plan.
He gets like a bunch of shipments, and Bruce is just like, "What's that?" And like, "Nothing." It's like basically a Kinder Surprise that he has to assemble.
It's all exciting.
What the heck piece is this? Oh no! Where have I put my schematics?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Did you know Amazon did not exist when this movie was made?
Yes.
Yeah. You gotta remember stuff like that.
Well, yeah, but it's funnier.
Well, I mean, Bruce Wayne basically has Amazon, but it's Alfred.
That's true.
He just asks for something and it just shows up a few days
sends
later.
an old man out into the city. Go find the thing.
I mean, he must have minions. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. We watched him running an errand at the beginning.
But he's not polishing he's not polishing all that silver and everything himself. Like, come on.
Well, you've seen scenes with him polishing silver though.
Maybe he polishes.
Yeah, when
silver,
he's probably
not mopping all the floors.
But also, he's probably doing that to look as butlery as possible in front of other people.
Yeah.
But
I
also,
mean,
there's
what
not
else?
a lot
How
of
else
other
do you
people
buttle
coming to the
visibly?
house, though.
Yeah, the South is very invisible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That staff goes home, for fuck's sake. Like,
Oh yeah, but I mean, at the minimum, they have like a horticulturalist and a team of landscapers.
Yeah,
he's definitely not trimming the shrubbery.
No, definitely not.
He was trained better than that.
Because that is it's a huge.
He probably
property.
competed in topiary in his youth, but that doesn't mean that he still wants to.
Oh,
do you think he at some point gave Bruce Wayne a little bat topiary as a gift? Because I sort of think he did.
It died in the Batcave. You're like, there's no light down here.
Yes, well.
If you use the full spectrum lamp as I showed you.
Oh,
Bruce
yeah.
Wayne isn't good at taking care of things.
No, he's not. Well, because if Alfred's not there, he's not taking care of it. So
right.
That's true.
Yeah, Bruce wanted to do a gap year, and Alfred needed to make a point.
I like it.
Alright. So, the invasion is failed. Catwoman blows herself up with a crazy taser death kiss.
Yes.
And then we get another moment of genuine comedy where Penguin tries to defend himself with one of his umbrellas.
And he picks the wrong umbrella.
Ah, shit, I picked a cute one.
Yeah, what I don't understand is, like, so you see Penguin's face. He's got all kinds of cuts and stuff, and it's red blood. But out of his mouth, it's like black. It's bile or something coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Wait, we know this one. He's possessed.
Oh, yeah. Or Australian and New Zealand horror films are more likely to have black blood than others. But
that's true. But they don't mix and match.
It's just
that's the thing that confused me. Like, I would be fine if he was black blood was coming out of his mouth and his cuts were all black and stuff.
Yeah.
Fine, right? Or if he was like red blood coming out the mouth, red cuts all over the place. Fine. But it's the combination of the two. I'm like, if he's bleeding, all of his blood is one color. Pick a color.
Yeah. Well.
Do penguins have black spit?
I
guess the answer's no. But
that's real troubling though.
No, I just
R.I.P. your search results.
So I'm really sad I had to Google this, and I was pretty sure about this, but they make a comment about when Penguin's making a speech to his minions before the final battle and stuff, he talks about how penguins are, cold-blooded animals. penguins are warm-blooded, and you need to know these things. Thank you very much.
Well, I mean, Google was still not quite the thing.
It didn't exist for another 15 years. It's fine.
Not 15, but it was you couldn't just you couldn't just ask the answer machine in your pocket about this. Yes.
But
not saying it wasn't sloppy, but also at a certain point they were so busy running around trying to wrangle penguins and people in penguin suits that they didn't have time to go look up the encyclopedia.
Yes.
Anyway, and it is a really visceral image that sticks with you from the film, is all that black gunk.
Yes.
Just constantly drooling out of his mouth, which I also found to be very Heath Ledger jokery, is that he is doing a lot of drooling and lip smacking. He does, yes. Yeah.
But that's the thing.
It is.
Despite the greatness of Jack Nicholson's Joker, these two are the other two really iconic villains from the movies, and they do. And I'm talking about the Christopher Nolan movies as well. I legitimately think that these two villains are just so well casted and so well portrayed in this movie, even though they're actually quite different than the comic book versions of the characters, and even the 1960s versions that they had on the Batman show and stuff. Because Selena Kyle originally she's a rich socialite, who's bored and is a cat burglar. That's Catwoman. The Penguin is a weird deformed the Penguin is a weird deformed guy, but he's very into being sophisticated and proper. That's one of the reasons why he wears suits all the time, right? But he's all about, he likes to steal things like Fabergé eggs and all that kind of stuff.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's a fancy man. And even later on, when you watch some of the later stuff, they even bring it up in Batman the Animated Series and the new Gotham show and stuff like that. He's a high class restaurateur. He wants to be part of the elite. That's his whole thing. Whereas these two versions of it are very dark and gritty, and he's a dirty, gross underground man, and she's just this sad woman who's just I'm sick of it.
She's so angry.
She's so angry, you know. But they're really good versions of the characters.
Yeah. I loved it.
I really liked it. Yeah. I really liked it compared to the first one.
I picked the wrong movie 3 times. So I should probably get some sort of prize for that.
Yeah.
Prize is you can tell me about what happens in Batman Forever, because do I not remember?
No. We're not. Oh, well, if you're expecting a plot synopsis, that's not going to happen. Okay. It's all bonkers.
So one thing I've realized going through this, and especially after watching Batman the Animated Series and then watching these, is that I used to think that my, when I think Batman, I used to think that what I thought Batman was from Batman and Batman Returns, So it's Michael Keaton, that world, those characters, that kind of thing. But I've come to a realization after, rewatching these, I'm like, no, this is not what I remember at all. Because, I remember, I think Michael Keaton's face, I think Conroy's voice, and I think of, the Batmobile and, Gordon and how the Batman is and how Robin is. It's all the stuff from the animated series that's in my brain. That's the thing that I relate to most when it comes to Batman. Yeah, it's a weird...
I've never seen the animated series. I have no...
Yeah, I never
Okay. I'm, you said... I know quite a few things about you, and I know you haven't watched certain things, and even though it hurts my heart, it's fine and everything, but I'm gonna have to ask you to leave, because you've gone too far.
But it's just getting good. We were just about to start talking about bat nipples. I even foreshadowed this on the Christmas episode. You can't kick me out now, even if I am sitting here wearing a Captain America shirt like a fucking asshole.
Oh my god. Yes.
I'm ready to break down. As you can see, I've taken off my makeup.
Yeah, well, I mean, Batman Forever is a good place to start breaking down, because that's certainly what happened to the franchise.
It's so true. Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
So again, another 3 years goes by. 1992. Now it's 1995, and we've got Batman Forever. Ooh. It's a new Batman. It's a new director. Nelly. It's a new direction for the franchise.
Straight into a flaming dumpster.
Yes.
I was going to say a toilet, but
Toilets.
That's not nearly dramatic enough for this ish. Come on.
I'm sorry, a flaming toilet? It's kind of dramatic.
That sounds like something that I shouldn't have drunk in college.
Yeah. Jeez. Hey,
yeah.
Did you want to stuff flaming toilets?
Remember that one bar in Tijuana that time?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
You know why?
All the flaming toilets.
Oh my
Gotcha.
goodness.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I remember these movies. Like, I saw the originals when I was a kid, but these ones, I was like at the age where this was like a fun thing more. Like, it was kind of, because I was never a comic kid. I was never like into any of that kind of stuff. And I remember them like, I mean, I didn't remember them being cinematic masterpieces, but I remember like being a fan of them. And when I put Batman Forever on, I literally lasted less than 5 minutes before I was texting Leah, just like, oh God, I regret everything. This movie sucks so bad.
I got some very alarming text messages.
I must admit, like, yes, this movie is bad. I'm not saying no, but
it doesn't stink as bad as Batman. Well,
and that's the thing. Like, I don't think it's as bad as the next movie, but also that does not.
Yeah,
that is not
a
good
bar.
thing. That's a really low. Like, that bar's on the ground, guys.
Yeah,
like,
pretty
it's
much.
Not,
Yeah, I don't understand the. Are you gonna read my text? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, I thought I might.
Oh yeah, read some of those texts. Come on.
There are only a couple, I think.
I just want to read the first one, which is not prompted and says, "I've barely cleared the credits of Batman Forever, and I regret everything. Holy shit, this movie is bad."
That is a proper Texas. Yes, that's a strong start. I will also let you know, like, I thought as I went on, as the movies got bad, my notes would get longer. I think at a certain point I just gave up on these second two movies, and my notes are incredibly short. Oh. So I don't even know what I'm gonna say about these two movies.
No, last time I was all prepared and I showed up with notes and I'd like read a bunch of background. This time I was just like, oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I have thoughts as well though. Like I mean the thing that's like the most boggling to me, I think, is that we have ample evidence that many of the people in this movie are very good actors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yet
we also have this movie as evidence. People's exhibit.
So this was all deliberate choice. Like,
yeah, they went in, so one thing I do know about this, so in the first two movies, Harvey Dent is played by Billy D. Williams. Oh my God, my brain farted for a second. And it's actually built into his contract that he was going to play Two-Face, which is also something I would have loved to see.
Yes, please.
I think it would have been fantastic. I would have loved to have seen like what his actual take on the character would have been. Sure. You know?
It is a character that can be made interesting.
Yeah.
What's his nuts? The blonde guy did an okay job.
Hey.
Oh, Aaron Eckhart. Yeah.
Nope, his name is What's His Nuts, the blonde guy forever now.
What's his name? What's his nuts? Gotcha. I like that guy.
Listen. My commentary is devolving along with this.
I love Tommy Lee Jones in this role. He's a fantastic actor, and he, I think, acted out the top of the movie, where it's just like, go on, I'll watch.
It's so brutal it comes back around again.
Yeah,
that's how
he's just given his little bad acting heart out. He's like dug deep inside himself to find the part of himself that can be in a bad movie. And
well, sure, because he's like the guy that made The Fugitive and is like a very serious, like Oscar-nominated actor, and then also made like Men in Black and that one where he has to babysit that house full of cheerleaders. Like
I'm sorry. What?
I know what movie that is. Oh my God! Why can't I remember what movie that is?
He's like a ranger or whatever. Like a and
one of the cheerleaders
is in like in witness protection or something. So he has to like.
You are making this up.
No.
Why would I be making this up?
Because otherwise we'd have to talk about the other movie.
Okay, well, I don't know.
All right.
I can't remember what it's called, but anyway, no, he has to like babysit this whole house full of cheerleaders. He like becomes their quote unquote coach. Anyway, my point is that Tommy Lee Jones is like.
It is called Man of the House. It came out in 2005.
Why on earth did I not know that?
So to clarify, it is a Texas Ranger must protect a group of cheerleaders who have witnessed a murder.
Oh, so it was all of them that witnessed it. That's why it's the whole
Sister Act, but it's Man of the House with cheerleaders and Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, there you go.
All of these movies sound so much better.
Anyway, so it's 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 a roller coaster. But yeah, so Tommy Lee Jones clearly has a very well-developed bank account and an equally well-developed sense of humor. And he will just, like, do things because it seems funny to him. Yeah. So he was like, oh, you want to, like, mess up half my hair and make me a raving crazy person? Cool. Yeah, I get that. Whatever. Mm-hmm. His everything, like, visually speaking, it makes me upset. But
one of the things about Tommy Lee Jones is that he commits when he does a role. Right?
Oh boy!
Because even in like Men in Black and all that kind of stuff, like he's like, no, this guy's serious. I'm not gonna try to like even when I crack a joke, I'm not gonna laugh.
Sure. Well, no, he's a great straight man, which is why it's actually kind of like why you can see why he picked up the script and was like, well, this is a mess, but they're gonna like back a truck of money up to my door, and
beep,
I got to just like not only chew on but through all of the scenery everywhere, and flirt with Jim Carrey for 2 hours. Cool beans.
Apparently, they hated each other.
Yes.
No. Apparently, they hated each other. Yes. I was reading about this.
My Spanish heart is broken.
Hold on. I gotta find it. It was actually one of the things, the trivia things on IMDb.
Okay. Well, let's talk about chemistry in general.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, or would you have a?
I want to zip right to the end for 1 second.
Yeah.
I had a note that it looks like Jim Carrey's the big monologue, the Riddler's last big monologue that he's giving in what I think is already a weirdly empty set in a movie full of weirdly empty sets is the stage that he's standing on. It looks like an empty soundstage. There's nobody on it, even though the Two-Face is supposed to be standing right next to him, and it keeps cutting away to these close reaction shots of Two-Face where it's clearly like
they were not.
Yeah. It's clearly the Riddler on an empty soundstage with like a skeleton crew in the second unit recording his big thing, and then Tommy Lee Jones has put these reaction shots in the can like last Wednesday, and is noped right out of there.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, so apparently, according to Jim Carrey, he did not get along with Tommy Lee Jones, who told him that he hated him and his films. Also, what was the other thing that I saw? It's also reported that the personality clashes between Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey during filming annoyed Joel Schumacher to the extent that he stated he would never work with either of them again. However, he later did do one more film with Carrey, which was the number 23.
Oh, yeah, that's a movie.
Is it?
It is a movie. I've also never watched it.
Ugh.
Yeah. But that's where it's like Jim Carrey finds a number 23 all over the place. Then there's like a book, and then there's like a.
Okay, stop.
I don't know.
That was already more than I needed to know about.
You're welcome.
Next.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
I liked at the beginning you see Two-Face's coin has a little ha scratched on it.
Yes.
The Joker ha from later.
Which it's not supposed to be, but whatever.
Well, whose is it? I bring it to you because I need to know the answer.
I actually have no idea.
Okay.
I apologize. I do not know that one.
How dare you?
Because in all of the versions I've seen it, he's had a coin, but it was something that was usually in his pocket during his accident, and half of it got destroyed and half of it didn't, and that's why it's the two sides of the coin.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, What's His Nuts has one that's half melted.
Yes.
What's His Nuts, the blonde guy?
Yeah. we need his whole name.
I feel we're already in a nickname place.
Yeah.
We're close, you see.
So yeah, I actually didn't realize it said ha. I thought it was just scratched. Like,
right.
That's what I thought it was, but that was just me.
I could be wrong. At that point, I took off my glasses and nestled into the couch for.
Yeah, because you didn't actually need to really see it.
I definitely started playing Sudoku in self-defense at some point because I couldn't handle what was happening on screen.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, but yeah, so let's talk about chemistry. That's super weird that they hated each other because they had excellent chemistry. They were like.
But I also think that's when you're like a quote-unquote good actor because
it doesn't always matter.
It doesn't always matter. That is true. That is very true.
May I bring to the table the example of Edward Norton, who is an excellent actor and can never have romantic chemistry with anybody ever, as far as I can tell. He's a hot mess. Oh, yes. Okay, that's true. If he's trying, he can't do it. Yeah. It's like, it's a thing. But yeah, they had great chemistry. They were super flirty and hilarious the whole movie. That was cool.
Yeah.
Batman and Robin, weird chemistry, but chemistry.
It was fine.
Batman and the love interest
there was like no Val Kilmer and Nicole Kidman.
Somebody take this thing's pulse. There is no so action there.
She says a hot entrance. That's the grossest thing I've ever heard her say. It's so gross.
It's not good.
I don't like it. It upset me viscerally.
I have an Uma Thurman one later. kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Gross.
Yeah.
I don't like.
I don't know why. It wasn't visibly offensive in any way.
Mm-hmm.
And it, like, I think it's neat that they gave her that hook, that, like, she's got this weird fetish for Batman that, like, you know, they don't... Everybody kind of makes fun of her for it, but she's not really, like, demeaned for it.
But not everybody. It's literally only Bruce Wayne.
Only Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
And me.
And you.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I mean, that's gotta be really weird if you already have a pajama alter ego. And then the girl you're trying to land is like, yeah, maybe not. Maybe this other guy. And you're just like, I am the other guy.
Also, that fetish is going to get super awkward at some point when he has to take off at least part of the batsuit, I'm assuming.
I have to... How does that even... the logistics question?
Okay.
Where, like,
based on how...
Like Iron Man, because that's what I was thinking, except that...
I'm sorry, based on how the suit goes on, that cod piece can flip off. I'm sorry. You do not need to know... You don't
That's
need to
actually
do that much.
Better, because he has...
Yeah, because also he's a person who probably would have to go to the bathroom at some point.
I was gonna say...
If he's takeout or something.
Yeah, he doesn't have the Iron Man...
Or maybe it's like...
logistics.
Or maybe it's like some of the spacesuits has got like a reclamation system in it, and you can just go in it.
See,
and
that's
just, like,
how
go
I
through
know,
the
but he
sewer.
doesn't have that. I don't think he has that.
You have to think of these logistics when you're putting on one of these things.
Right.
Okay, so she's just squeaking at this point. We don't know what she's saying.
She's asking, was there at some point, is there a scene?
He goes into a bathroom and he realizes he has to take off the whole top half of his suit to use the urinal.
Oh my god,
that thing that happened to every crazy bitch who bought a romper last year at H&M or Aritzia.
Oh my god, that's the worst.
No, I'm naked in a public bathroom. I've made a horrible mistake in my life.
But that's the thing, like that's why I've actually never bought one, because the first time I saw them I was like, these are really nice, I want to get one. I tried it on and I was just like, wait a second, so I have to get completely undressed if I need to go to the bathroom. That's not a thing I'm gonna do.
No.
You know?
He's still got the cowl on.
Some guy walks in behind him, he's like, okay, turns back, goes back out the door.
Well, he'd have to go in the stall, right? But then, like, his cape would get cut, so, like...
Yeah.
So some guy walks in, they're just, like, ears sticking up above the stall, there's, like, cape sticking through the doorway,
and all I can think of is Edna going, no capes! That's all I can think of at that point.
Edna Mode knows best.
Yeah,
no
she
capes.
does. She does.
Although he does jump off a lot of high stuff, so he probably needs it. But, anyway...
The cut piece is a good idea?
Yeah.
Sort of.
It made me unhappy.
I mean, also, for all those people who are angry at Batman, isn't the first thing you'd want to do to kick him in the nuts? Because, I mean, he deserves it a lot of the time.
Yeah, but the thing is, okay, there's nothing wrong with having a cod piece, I suppose, or like a cup of some sort to protect your region.
It's actually encouraged if you are regularly getting punched in the everywhere.
Well, yes, and I totally agree. I think the biggest problem is that in this suit in particular, it is overly emphasized, and the way they angle shots of him and stuff, it's just like, hey, boom. Sorry, I'm pointing at my crotch, people. Boom. There you go.
That
like,
it's heavily applied.
It's a weird thing. It's fine.
The suits are...
Well, not fine.
They're super... Yeah, the suits are really bananas. Like...
They are.
Yeah.
Like, I get wanting to be less of a, like, weird, I look like a black gummy bear thing than the Michael Keaton era, but, like...
No, I actually disagree.
But, more action on the suits is cool, but just maybe not that... Like,
particular kind of action?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, we needed, like, a little bit of articulation, not gay porn.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah,
which, makes me sad because, whatever, like, I think everyone's gay, and that's cool, but, like...
Yeah.
But this movie was, like, a little bit too gay and a little bit not gay enough
like, we
all at once,
know what
and it was confounding and upsetting.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, the camp was impeccably done.
Yeah, because even, like, the opening...
I don't know. It was too much for me. I couldn't...
No, but the thing is the opening sequence to this movie and Batman and Robin is him in the Batcave suiting up. So he's pulling things off the wall, like it's a batarang and like a grappling hook and a thing. And then he's like pulls on the cowl, then he pulls on his chest, bat nipples, and then he pulls on like the bottom half and it's like bat butt. And then he goes. He's just like, and that's the opening of the movie.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
You did no.
It's
no.
super awkward.
I didn't like it.
Yeah,
No.
that's the thing. Yes.
No. Also, yeah, pulling on the bottom, it was just like, oh yeah, the snow pants thing. Here we go.
Jump.
Hashtag sexy.
Yeah.
No, it's a hot mess.
World's greatest.
Oh my god. But yeah, I don't. Oh god.
So he
I don't
suits up
know.
because he has to rescue the security guard from the time capsule not the time capsule, the weird vault full of boiling acid.
Oh no, it's
Yes.
boiling acid. I think
That's
that's where I texted you maybe where I was just like, really, we're really starting off with, oh no, it's boiling acid, like.
Well, yeah, it's the stuff that made his face the way it is, right? So
No,
what am
I'm not objecting to the canon.
Yeah.
I just that scene is really stupid.
Oh no,
And it bummed me out. Now, I have to say,
yes.
in my defense, well, not my defense, exactly, like, I'm struggling with these movies a little bit because it was, like, something that I loved when I was an idiot teenager, so now looking back, I'm like, oop, cringe into the next room, here we go. But also, like, I'm such a Marvel nerd, and we just saw Endgame, like, the day before, and it's such, like, the wrap-up of a definitive proof that you can take superhero movies very seriously without losing the sense of humor. Like, it doesn't have to be humorless, which is, like, not a thing that DC excels at.
Yeah.
But also, so this one is, like, so, it's, I don't know, it was just too over the top for me. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like you can either act that camp or your storyline can be that, like, flimsy and dumb, but
Not
when you do both at once, it's just like, why am I even bothering? Are you even bothering? Like, a lot of people bothered for this movie, but I can't figure out why.
Yeah. No, I get you.
Yeah.
And it didn't get better in Batman.
No, it didn't. It did not.
In fact, it got worse, which is, like, impressive.
Which is
actually.
surprising.
It is.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
Yeah, because in this one, like, I mean, they hired Jim Carrey all over the place, which, like, he did, and, you know, that storyline, like, it's, like, stupid, but it makes a certain amount of sense.
No, it doesn't. If you think about it.
Well, not the science part, but
No, none of the science makes sense, but
the letdown dude with a crush on Batman.
sure.
Well,
Crush on Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Listen, you guys.
Look, if we're gonna do this,
if
we're
Wayne
gonna do it right.
Enterprises just devoted more time to science research grants, I feel like we could have avoided this whole
No,
problem.
but that's the thing. That's
also
not what
the
the
theme of the
issue
next
was.
movie.
He did, like, he worked in the department that was making the most money, and he was this,
No, I know.
giving lots of money to that department. But the problem is that the guy, he came in to see his people, talk to them,
Well, they
see what they're
science
working
factory.
on.
They cut the funding.
No, they cut that guy's funding specifically, like his
Yeah.
boss. And he wanted, Edward Nygma wanted to talk
to
to
do
Bruce
separately.
Wayne, which is fine. But he's like, so Bruce Wayne was like, look, I'm willing to listen to your idea. This looks really cool. Let's set up a meeting. And he's like, no, you want to set up a meeting and you want me to explain what I do? I
no.
need an answer now. And
Oh
he
no,
was
I'm
just
not
like,
suggesting that he's like anything other than like an awkward and deranged lunatic. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, no. I mean, yeah. Why were they giving all this funding and not actually monitoring what the people were doing? That's the other thing. Because he was obviously doing
'cause
that stuff
it's
at work.
Because he's busy dressing up like a bat at night?
Doesn't he have people for this?
well, obviously, like, the guy who was the boss was just kind of a tool. it seemed
Yeah.
like.
Well, and this is what happens in the next movie, too, so clearly his science division
Isn't doing something right.
gone rogue.
Well, in the next one, it's not actually his science division. That was a grant thing, right? Because
And he said their money and their funding was shut down.
yeah,
And
that's why
Because they didn't agree
Poison
with
Ivy
the
went
crazy-
mental
Yes.
because they
So-
were all yeah.
Yeah, that means, like, he was paying some
Sure,
sort
they
of
were
attention to it.
external,
He was-
but
yeah. He
but
was funding
they
it
didn't
in
actually
some
work for Wayne
capacity.
Enterprises, whereas Nygma
He just
did.
used his glassware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we talk about the riddle thing where he just sends him all the stuff so that he can guess his name? Like,
The world's dumbest riddles?
yeah, even I got them, and I am, like, disabled about that. Like, I can't ever.
You're not wonderful at puzzles, but you're very bright.
Yeah, but
Yes.
But these are...
but those were stupid. And then also the end reveal where it was like, oh, it's an enigma. It must be. It was just like, really? He just sent you his name in 6 pieces? Like,
Yeah. That's
why?
It's really weird.
It's
like
MRE. Mystery. No. Mr. E. Edward Nygma. Like, yeah, we
Yeah,
get it.
Yeah,
no.
how
it
about
was-
just look back through your past couple of months of life to try to figure out who might have done this to you instead.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
normal
that
people
was
ask
real
each
dumb.
Yeah.
That was real dumb.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, too, is that, like, Nygma at his office Even though he's got all the I love Bruce Wayne posters up, he also has like that question mark dude that he bases his look on in there. So wouldn't that have been like, hey, I've seen that question mark before. Oh, over there. Maybe we should talk to Edward
the guy.
Nigma.
Well, the guy that would be most likely got shoved out a window, right? So actually,
no, but that's the thing. It was considered to be a suicide, but Bruce Wayne showed up at the office when they were doing the investigation, so he would have seen.
But I don't think he was looking like.
I thought that guy was in his house. I thought that was his home lab.
Where
I thought the question.
Oh,
guy.
I know what you mean. No, so in the first part where Bruce Wayne comes in and they're doing like the investigation, and he's like, when you first meet Nigma, and he's there talking to himself, and he's like, I see. Oh, he's coming. Oh my god. He actually, at the side of his desk, he had a little bobblehead. They showed a close up of it. It was the guy in the green hat with the black question mark. Whatever. But he taps on it for good luck and walks out.
Yeah, he's got the big one at home.
He's got the big one at home. Yes. So there is evidence of that thing in
Which
the
what
office.
is that thing? It's really creepy.
I don't know. To me, it just looks like the Riddler. So I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I was like, oh,
chicken,
that's
egg, but like
that's 1960s Riddler, and now you're gonna put on more Riddler outfits. Okay,
cool.
Gotcha.
Increasingly spangly and.
Oh my god! By the end of it, he looked like a freaking figure skater.
Yeah.
It was
Again,
bananas.
In the middle of the closing battle sequence, he had a costume change.
Yep.
I was just like, dude, priorities.
He had them. Change. They were style.
Wait, I'm sorry. Are we calling that style now?
It was a style.
It's like what?
I didn't say they were stylish.
White spandex with green question marks and red hair into like a thingy, and his eyebrow makeup was fantastic. Though.
We talk about his hair because he starts with a nice bob. It's like healthy, it's shiny. There are some light layers.
He looks like a soccer mom.
Yeah, it's a beautiful red bob. It's just fine. And then it slowly just devolves into.
Turned him into like a candy raver. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, the 90s were an odd time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's true.
It also really highlighted that because he goes back and forth between the two hairstyles.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, and but he also got like a Bruce Wayne-esque haircut as well. Because remember when you see him at like that one party and he's normal looking.
Yeah, he does. He is trying to be Bruce Wayne, which is cool because Bruce Wayne doesn't really want to be Bruce Wayne either, right? Like he's pretty.
Especially in this movie, I felt like Val Kilmer very wisely was shut up. I mean, he had to talk a lot, but like as far as acting goes, he was just like he is just a reflecting wall for what's happening around him, which is really where Batman's at his best. I think there's something sort of intrinsically just off about a blonde Batman. Might just be me.
But is he really? He's not that blonde. He's not like platinum blonde. He's blonde.
No,
that
didn't faze me. But I just didn't.
His heart is blonde.
I just didn't. I just wasn't buying what he was selling at all.
Yeah, no. No,
I mean, when he wasn't talking, he had the jawline for it, especially with the cowl on.
But he also has a very distinctive, like, lower face.
The
who among us has not watched Top Gun and been like, hello?
Yeah.
So, like, I grant that, whatever, nobody in that universe has seen his pecs quite displayed to that advantage, but, like, he's a very kissable mouth and a very punchable face. So
that's very true.
A very lovable personality.
Sure.
Also, can I just say,
yeah.
So one of the biggest differences between the Tim Burton movies and these movies is the actual like set design and all that kind of stuff and costume design and whatever. And I gotta say, like, I hate it. Like, I just visually, I hate it.
You hate the set design?
I hate the set design. It doesn't work. I hate the set design. The Batmobile is just stupid.
How much of that movie did they film under black light? What is
actually no? The next one is more for sure.
Sure, but what's with the freaking Dayglow rape gang?
I don't know, but they come back.
I know they're in.
Apparently,
they're in both movies.
Streaming out of the thing.
Yeah,
there is something about the like crazy Dayglow rape gang that just like really they're trying to emphasize how gritty it is, and they're like performing acts of mayhem to the Offspring that is just like such a the Dayglow Offspring. Cyberpunk havoc scene is just such a 90s, like it was I had to step back for a moment.
I just was like, I can't.
But also one thing I hated about that movie is the fact that Chris O'Donnell shows up to save this girl, and before running away, she's like, "Oh, we have to make out first, and then I'll leave." And I'm just like, I'm sorry.
Run. away.
I'm like, I don't care who saves me. I'll give him a hug. I'll be like, thank you, but I'll keep running. Like, I don't, like, that is just, even if it's Chris O'Donnell, I'm sorry. Like, there's a certain part where really, like, I don't care how pretty you are. I'm, you know.
Well, I'm not known for my instincts of self-preservation. But also, I was at, like, exactly the right age to just be like, oh my god, he's so dreamy! And I still have that, like, reflex. Like, he showed up and I was like, oh my god, he's a baby.
He's a tiny child. Okay, great. I had exactly the same thing.
You're like, he's older than us. It's cool. It's fine. Yeah. But also, I was like, oh.
I have a very unimpressed look on my face because I disagree.
You're not
taking part in our Tiger Beat experience.
No. I don't know. Fair. Like, there's something. I mean,
it's embarrassing, so
like,
that's fine.
No, but I get it. Like, there are people for me that I'm exactly the same way.
Yeah.
But like Chris O'Donnell, just like he doesn't do it. Like, he's got one of the douchiest faces.
What?
Like he's like
I don't think it's douche. It's like
preppy Biff from Stanford.
See,
has, like,
that's the thing. He looks
to
me.
Fight him.
He looks like a freaking altar boy that they like had to like give him a cute jacket and a short haircut and an earring because they were like, oh dear, this guy looks like way too innocent to be running around.
Toughen him
it's
up
just
a
gonna make it's just gonna make Batman look like a predator. Like, we gotta do something here.
Okay.
I mean, Batman's always gonna look like a predator
because he flat out begs the kid to come to the garage with him to, like, oh no, are you sure you don't want this? Are you sure you don't want that? Do you want a sandwich? Well, at least fuel up before you go. Like, the most cajoling, like, please come with me down to my yard.
There's candy in my van. Let's go.
Oh yeah, it's 100% a pickup.
With me.
It's weird.
Like another country I heard from hadn't said anything through the whole movie, and I was like, did he just buy a child? I think.
Although super snaps to Alfred in that scene where he's like, oh, is he leaving? Maybe the dogs are hungry. And he's like, but and I was like, is that onion rings on Crystal? Wait, I'm following Alfred too.
We're all following Alfred. Which I think, let's just do it now and get it out of the way. The Alfred movie.
I want to hear about this.
What if instead of a young circus performer being just as traumatized as Batman, so Batman has to take him home and nurse him back to health, what if it's some kind of circus performer, facilitator, maintenance person? What I'm talking about here is a young Alfred gets orphaned, and Alfred takes him into Wayne Manor. And the whole movie is just Alfred training the next
new butler?
Alfred. Yes! And obviously Alfred is also some kind of a superhero that Batman, Bruce Wayne, doesn't even know about.
Sure.
He takes ass on, his nights off. But then, like, in between, it's like, and what have I taught you about getting bloodstains out of? That's not cashmere. This is linen. Oh, it's okay.
I would watch that, by the way.
Right? I watched so much of
from
this.
the directors of Kingsman, right?
Yeah. Yes, exactly this.
So
Alfred teaches a young orphan how to buttle and also kick ass.
So just so you know, there is a version in Batman where it's not Batman movie. There's no second, like Alfred or anything. But there is a version where the reason why he was hired by Wayne Manor was because he was actually part of the British Secret Service.
He's a Kingsman.
And the thing is that he was left there to protect Bruce Wayne all along.
Yes.
And so he has contacts in military. He's got contacts in Secret Service and stuff. That's why he's able to get certain things done. And
that's can't physically... They have a freaking arsenal and a...
Yeah, and he can't physically defend people and stuff. And there's the whole thing, right? And it's sort of, especially now... especially when you look at like Gotham that's on TV, you look at some of the like New 52 comic books that they did. They've actually aged Alfred down in some cases.
Yeah.
So he's younger and like he gets into fights with Batman. Like he doesn't go out with Batman, but if somebody comes to the house, he will fight somebody.
You
or
get
whatever,
off my lawn.
Yeah.
There is episodes in Batman the Animated Series where they make reference to the fact that younger Alfred knows a secret and they have to get a password out of him from something that he did in like the 60s or 50s or something.
Ooh.
So there's that, and it was something about unicorns if I remember correctly. But yeah, like that is plausible. That is totally plausible.
That's like Alfred is across the board awesome, and like
he is.
Generally speaking, Batman is kind of a tool.
Yep.
Don't at me.
I think like in these movies, yes, Batman, like we said, he can't adult and he's kind of useless, but he punches people really well.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Go, buddy.
Yes.
Just another through line in these movies is Commissioner Gordon.
Yes, he's the same commissioner every time, yes.
I have to imagine one morning between the last movie and this movie, Commissioner Gordon woke up to find himself very confused by the Gotham revamp that had happened overnight.
Yeah.
Right? He's like, who are all these people?
And what is going on? Yeah.
Why are the statues so much bigger? There are so many more statues.
Yes!
So much bigger.
Oh my god!
What's with there's that huge head that Two-Face drives through, and it was just like...
No, because the whole city has these, like, monolithic statues, like,
they had some
Mount
sort
Olympus
of, like,
or something.
Easter Island tip, and
Yeah,
they're, like,
and
massive
like,
heads everywhere.
Buildings are built on, like, the backs of people, and they're on arms that are sticking out.
Yeah,
and
at the end it goes completely insane.
It's insane, and it also gets worse in the next movie as well, which is shocking.
Yeah. Big things. This movie made me really uncomfortable.
It just...
And the next movie even more so.
It just makes no sense at all.
Like, even the statues in the first movie were unsettling to me.
Oh yeah, no, they didn't get smaller.
No, they did not.
Also,
nothing got smaller except the part of the plot that made sense.
The two twin Lucifers outside Wayne Manor, the horse statues.
Oh yeah, at the gates, right? Yeah, that wasn't there in the other two movies. No. But they are very prominent in these two movies.
Which means at some point, Joel Schumacher was like, yes, I authorize the expense. I would like to create these two statues.
Well, yeah.
In particular. What's the deal? Is there some kind of horse thing with Batman that I don't know about? Or with Schumacher, maybe? You know what? Don't tell me.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he's a lunatic. Like, I don't know how any of this happened. Well, I know how some of this happened.
So, Batman takes off. He buys a child, and then he takes off to the inn. I think we get dumped in medias res, or I fell asleep. Either is equally probable. He ends up in the world's slowest car chase. To what end is any of this violence happening? But also, he's driving around the Batmobile, which has a giant fin on top, and the fin is wobbling as he drives, which is the least cool thing that happens in any of these movies until they split the fin in two, and then it looks like he's parted his hair down the middle like Bart Simpson going to church, and both fins wobble down the side. I mean, honestly.
I mean, that's the real secret of Batman, right? He's, like, not cool at all.
He's world's greatest detective.
He can literally only keep it up if he stays in the shadows and doesn't talk.
Yeah, that's how he shines best.
Yeah, no one can quite see him and nobody can hear him, and oh my god. Yeah.
So I just found a little tidbit over here based on two comments you guys made. First of all, you're not liking the statues everywhere, and you're like, what is it? Chris O'Donnell. You know, you had to give him a nice jacket and earrings so he could look cooler, you know?
Also gayer.
Yeah. But apparently, like...
The earrings. The circus performer outfit wasn't gay enough.
It was, oh my god. Oh, jeez, yes.
I mean, they need to be aerodynamic.
While they were flipping in the air, I'm like, that is too revealing. That is too tight.
That's how that works, though. Like, they literally do... that actually is, like, legitimate. That's not just Joel Schumacher being a perv.
Yeah. Unlike the
I was definitely being a perv over there. Yeah.
Oh my god, there's that scene where there's, like, it's like, I was like, what am I watching? Labyrinth? Jesus, why is there so much junk on the screen?
Yeah. No, it's very true. And he's, like, thrusting at the screen and the angle's, like, down here, up. And
yeah.
he's like, no!
Like, listen,
not
I'm sure Jim Carrey is talented in many ways, but I don't...
Yes.
I don't need to know about
No, I don't want to think about him that way.
This whole section of his resume can be dead to me.
Yeah.
So apparently, according to this note, Joel Schumacher's decision to put nipples, and actually he enlarged the cod pieces on the Batman costume.
Yeah, we know.
As well as giving an earring to Robin. Didn't, like, it really bothered Bob Kane, who's one of the creators of Batman, right?
It stinks.
And Joel Schumacher defended it, saying that he wanted to have a more anatomical look.
Well,
not
that was
necessary.
Stupid.
While the earring was supposed to make Robin more hip, which it didn't.
Hello, fellow children.
And he also claimed the basis of the suits had to come from statues of gods in ancient Greece. So that actually goes with, like, the set designs as well. With, like, that monolithic look at all this stuff.
Well, that's terrible.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
I get where he's coming from. I get what he's trying to do. But again, he slipped on the way to making it gay like old Olympics pictures gay. He made it gay, like, in a way that nobody wants gay.
Well, yeah, old Olympics, like, your shorts are just a little too short. Like, it's inappropriate.
You know? Right. You can there's a reason. It's like, it's iffy, but it's like, okay, they need to be aerodynamic, they need to whatever. Not just like, oh yeah, no, we just want to like perv on this kid. Cool.
Yeah. And also, luckily, we almost had a Mel Gibson as Harvey Dent / Two-Face.
Whoa, that's grim.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's terrible. We also almost had a Ethan Hawke Batman. I know.
That would have been awful.
I hate Ethan Hawke so much.
Ethan Hawke and Chris O'Donnell trying to have a fight about authority.
Oh, that would not have worked.
Yeah.
No. But
I've seen Mallrats, so I can extrapolate from there.
I love Mallrats so much.
Yeah, me too. It's way better than this movie.
One thing, though, about Ethan Hawke is that as he got older, his teeth got gnarlier, and it makes me very uncomfortable.
He's always looked like a ferret.
No, but he's always looked weirdly, like, he's always looked kind of odd. But
That's
as
nice
he
for
got
him.
older, it just got worse. It drives me nuts, actually.
He also used to be married to Uma Thurman. Good on you, buddy. Still looks like a weasel.
That's why it was almost Ethan Hawke. No,
Well, she's in the next one.
She's in the next one, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, well, I got a lot to say about her. But anyway, yeah, no.
I wanted to stop for a moment before we get too far into the plot and just a moment of silence for Alfred's awesome Master Wayne's Dead Wives line.
That was so good.
It's the silver cabinet. The other way.
That was so good.
Oh, that's where Master Wayne keeps his dead wives.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I enjoyed that one, too.
He's like all for building this Bat family, but then also he enjoys terrorizing them in the way that, like, part of having children is you have children and then you are granted the extra privilege of kind of torturing them just in the funny way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But also, if he was, like, super nice to him, the whole vibe would be even creepier.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
It's already super creepy.
Yeah.
So...
The laundry montage where he spin kicks his clothes onto the clothesline. I mean, we already knew that he was acrobatically
Oh my
gifted.
god, that scene is so dumb. I forgot all about it.
It's absolutely pointless.
It's
and
so
it's
good,
ridiculous,
though.
And it's just...
But it's what sparks Alfred to make the suit, right?
I guess.
No, he makes
he
makes the suit after that.
Does he?
Well,
Yeah.
Do we know? But he gives him the suit later, but do we know when he made it?
I don't know, sometime in there.
Do we think that Alfred thinks that Bruce Wayne brought this kid home for some other purpose that didn't involve junior crime fighting?
Well, that's a troubling question, isn't it?
I regret it.
I'm going to keep that to myself. Thank you very much.
But like, it's funny because it's weird because it is like the whole setup is super squirrely.
Yeah.
But also, it's so it's like the dialogue is so forced with all the like I want to be your partner stuff that it's like it actually makes it less creepy because it just makes it more stupid and awkward.
It's true. Yeah, it just comes across as dumb.
Because he's always like, I want, and it's like, you have been here for 20 minutes, child. Like, you have not earned his trust. You have not, like, you've barely earned TV privileges after dinner. Like, calm your shit.
Yeah, no, it's so true.
So it's
Never
kind
mind
of
getting his own boat.
Yes.
Yeah, he's
Okay,
he's a mess of a human being.
But also, because of that, so of course Robin breaks into the Batcave.
Yeah.
He figures it out.
And
or
good
whatever.
on him.
He gets down there. But then you have just like, intruder alert, intruder alert, intruder alert. And all the doors open and the Batmobile comes up and you're just like, aren't you doing the opposite of what an intruder alert should do? Like, shouldn't things lock down?
They did it. They did that in the next movie too.
Yeah, but it's wrong.
But it's no, but it's because it was like it says like there's the video of Alfred's talking to Batgirl, and saying like, "Oh, I figured you'd make your way down here."
No, see, that's different.
I think it was probably set up that way too.
But that doesn't make any sense though, because this one it's just Alfred. There's no video of Alfred. It's literally just like a booming voice saying intruder alert, intruder alert, intruder alert. But usually, especially if you have like a Batcave and you have sensitive materials down there and stuff, you know, like when you say, you know, intruder alert, you don't, bring the car up and you don't like open the thing that's in front of the Bat computer or whatever. I keep forgetting I have to put Bat in front of everything. Whereas that one, it's like so how she enters the cave is not through the stairs, it's from like an underground whatever. She comes up and it says intruder alert and he comes up and he's like, it's me, Alfred, and that's when things start to be okay.
Yeah, okay.
So it's a little bit different, but that really annoyed me. I'm like, you're doing the wrong thing, dude. Because the same thing happens
if you have the alarm, why doesn't it start? Like, why doesn't it stop the open up protocol? Even just don't open anything up, because that's what happens when you come down, right? It opens up?
Because that's what happens when the Riddler gets in there. Everything comes up, so then he just blows everything up because he's got access to everything. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's just lazy and bad storytelling is what it is. It's very frustrating to me.
Yeah. This movie's kind of the worst.
It's just...
Until you get to the next one.
I don't think the magic cape comes up again, because at some point also, Batman turns his cape to what looks like metal, which I hope it's not, to withstand a firestorm.
Oh, that's... Yes!
And he does not emerge a nugget, so I'm assuming that the cape is not metal, but that's what it looks like. What is that? Why is that a one-off?
I don't.
Come up again.
There's a lot of... They're not interested in the laws of nature in these movies. Like,
the
really.
laws of anything,
laws of
really.
nature notwithstanding, but it's like, that's a pretty good toy. You might want to give that a callback.
Yeah, at some point for some reason.
I don't
we'll
know.
never see it again in history, I don't
I
think.
feel I don't know. I feel like they were like they like had a list of neat toys that they were just like checking off.
Part of the fun of it.
Sort of. Yeah.
Suppose, that makes sense.
I don't know.
I have a note here that says it's another holiday movie. It's because it's Halloween this time.
It is.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I thought for sure Wayne Manor would have a big like White House Halloween kind of like.
No, just
thing,
one pumpkin on the outside.
That's because Bruce Wayne hates fun. I remember.
Yeah. Right, but also
he did put a Christmas tree in the mansion during the Christmas one though. So Alfred did.
Yeah. But also, what's happening in the Halloween? He's having dinner.
Kidman's there. Yeah, and they're having dinner.
Everybody knows Halloween is like one of the highest crime nights of the year. Jackass.
Yeah.
Put on your bat pajamas and get on out there.
He keeps scheduling dinner dates when he has shit to do.
That's one of the biggest problems.
Selena Kyle.
Yeah.
Also,
he can't manage his own schedule.
Also, they rearranged that room because the couch isn't in front of the fire; it's at the side. Also, it's smaller and green, and it really annoyed me.
Oh, bless! That's wonderful.
That's one thing I really noticed about, because in Batman Returns, the scene where they're like making out on the couch, they're in front of like the oversized fireplace, which it looks like they used the same place. And they've got like again, they were doing this whole big house, oversized everything, and it's this giant red velvety looking couch that they're sitting on both sides of and then get together,
right?
And it's great. But then in this, you come in, it's giant fireplace, and it's like a little 2-seater green couch at the side. And I'm like, why'd you do that?
Because he's learned that if he has to stick closer to them to start with, it doesn't take him as long to get them making out. That's the first sensible thing I've heard about Bruce Wayne in hours.
But
obviously,
it's a couch. You can just sit beside them, right?
Well, you can if you have like social skills or are not a moron.
He's pretty maladjusted.
Come now.
Pretty terrible.
Also, can we talk about the joy of how, even though they have no chemistry and she's a mess, it's super hilarious how she rejects him, both of his ego, in favor of the other one. I do love and he's just like, I'm like, okay, for the first time in this whole movie, I feel for you, buddy.
Yeah.
That's like the kind of obnoxious that you can't even bitch to anybody about.
Yeah,
like,
it's very true.
Is bananas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is it.
And your life is silly and whatever.
Yeah. So they knock out Alfred. At which point I started yelling.
Oh yeah, I was mad.
Like, don't
so
hurt
mad.
Alfred. That's not acceptable.
Yeah, you leave Alfred alone.
Yeah.
And throw him in the closet? Did they throw him in the closet?
They threw him in what might have been the actual silver closet?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Everyone else is busy attempting to claw out of the closet, and they're just like, we'll just stick Alfred in there for now.
Right, yeah. They blow up the Batcave.
Yeah.
Yes. They kidnap the girl, and they leave him there, and leave him another riddle.
Yeah.
And that's when he sits and figures out the whole Mr. E mystery.
So he
Edward
knows to go
Nigma.
to Evil Blender Wing Island.
For somehow.
I don't in a box the whole time.
And it is nothing. There's literally no component of it that's actually a box.
It's a flat. It's a straight blender, right? Like,
it's a blender. Yeah, no, it is a blender. Yeah. The first time I saw it, I'm like, is that a blender?
It looks like. Well, it does look like a margarita machine.
Yeah.
More
description.
Like a blender than anything else.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. But also the thing that really confused me about this last battle is like, there is literally no reason for the commissioner to have the bat signal on, for them to do the lasers with the question mark in the sky. And I'm just like, but what is the commissioner signaling exactly? Why is he signaling something?
Did he
not? Yeah, they turned it on.
No. The commissioner, because remember.
Oh wait, no,
because at the end, the commissioner, so he's been knocked out or whatever, and then they figure out the mystery, and then you see like there's a part where they show in the city, and there's the bat signals in the sky, and then they have like the green laser that turns it into a question mark.
Yeah.
And you see the commissioner, he's on top of the police headquarters, and he turns around and he's like, oh, Batman's not coming. I guess they've had it on for a while or whatever. And then you see Batman come through the clouds or whatever. But why does the commissioner have the signal on in the first place? What is he calling him for?
Because...
I
don't know. I watched them back to back, and now they're all...
I don't know.
Well, because
and also,
I guess
how
the
does
last
he know
stand
that he
is
has to
more
go to the
private than
island?
usual.
I guess he just assumes
He's
that's where he
seen
is.
The Incredibles? No, wait.
Well, he knows he has to go to Evil Blender Island.
I guess, yes.
Because the Riddler's calling him out.
But Evil Blender Island's been there all along.
Yeah, but now he knows it's the Riddler.
Okay.
There's Edward Nigma.
Yeah.
The guy with Evil Blender Island.
Okay.
The other electric green guy that's appeared in his life in the last 2 months.
Yeah.
So
and then
they have to go to the island. There's a scene with the two of them swimming the rest of the way to the island.
Yeah, they would have drowned.
That is just, it is so sad. They're only swimming for like 2.5 seconds on screen.
Yes.
I missed those 2.5 seconds. I was doing literally anything else.
Before the Holy Rusted Metal Batman.
Which I love, by the way.
Oh my god. Oh, I think I actually yelped.
Batman goes,
what?
He's like, it's all metal and it's rusted and there's lots of holes in it, so it's holy.
Right.
Like,
yeah. No. I made outraged noises at that particular.
I think that's an appropriate amount of self-awareness for this movie to have.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Perhaps.
It's an extraordinarily dumb movie trading on extraordinarily dumb precedents, which are great and I love them. But,
yeah. No. Yeah. It's some kind of mess.
I don't like it. But
no, it's bad.
But also, it's just something so sad about, their tights are going to be wet. The bat boots are going to be all squelchy.
They're wearing rubber suits. They're going to be squelching until they can, strip down.
Sneaky, oh no!
It's so awful. It's so bad.
Oh, you guys, that's so troubling. Yeah. Right. And then,
Robin wrecks a boat on the way there.
He gets blown up.
He's a destructive little bastard.
Boats are expensive, Robin. You can't have another one.
But they also blow up the Batwing.
Yeah.
Out of the sky.
There's a high...
They cook up some proper steaks, I'll say that.
Yes, they do. I agree with you.
They blow up all his toys.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Yeah.
And then Robin gets damseled.
Oh, it's really bad.
Yeah, he gets damseled.
Right,
Dr. Chase is already there, and then apparently the internet tells me this is where Bruce Wayne gets to face down his bisexuality.
Well, he's got to choose between the boy wonder and the love of his life, apparently.
Well, I think more...
I don't know.
A movie later than I was. Just saying.
But when he declares that he is both Bruce Wayne and Batman, that means he's ready to be comfortable with himself.
And not less.
That's what I got out of it.
Well, less in a literal fashion.
That's not what bisexuality is. Second of all.
Yeah, I don't know. I started reading a couple of pieces about how this is an important LGBT movie, and then I was so sad that I had to stop because I get it.
Tracy and I are making variations on her face, which is...
I'm sorry, what?
Extreme
Tell
confusion.
us everything you read.
Well...
What, is it because he comes out of the closet and tells people who he really is?
Not exactly, but, it is a tremendously gay movie.
Is it because he adopts a twink?
That's not irrelevant, but... No, it's just, basically the idea is that everything that happens could be read as really gay really easily. The adopting a twink and the choosing between the guy, whatever that stuff, and even Riddler and Two-Face, how they there's the partnership of them, and there's a partnership of Batman and Robin, and one is oh, we're gonna be supportive, we're gonna be partners, let's just talk about how we're partners again, because that's real subtle.
Oh, I get it.
And then the other one is okay, we're not they bring out the worst in each other, and it spirals, and then kablooey, everyone's in jail or whatever. But, yeah, I don't know. It is a tremendously gay movie, but yeah, it's all like signaling stuff that's just under the surface.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I kind of buy it because like I don't know if Joel Schumacher was doing that on purpose, but like I can't figure out what he was doing on purpose or why, so I can't really speak to his motives on anything.
Yeah, I don't like. I actually do see all of your points, but at the same time,
let's be clear, those are the internet's points.
Yes, but I also don't think. I know it's hard to tell by the level of quote unquote quality of this movie, but I don't think any of that is purposeful from the looks of it. Like, or maybe it's just me, but to me it just seems like they're reading very hard into it, and I'm not trying to be mean or rude or whatever. But
I mean. Especially, like, the weirdly performative aspect of the costumes, and then, like, the weird, like, he's got more chemistry than with Robin than with the female love interest, and they've got, like, a squirrely, like, it's, I can see how people got there.
No, I can see, like I said, I can see how people got there, for sure.
Yeah.
I legitimately don't think any of it's purposeful. Like, I don't think he was, besides the anatomically correct costume, because he's living up some level of fantasy.
Well, having the like weird porn star Batman thing.
Yes, and that's the thing, right? That's the thing.
What? I don't like that either.
You don't like porn star Batman?
You're the one who brought up the freaking codpiece with the hinge thing. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be back later. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So with all that wondrous,
this movie is bad and it should feel bad. Shall we move on?
Then we're gonna go from bad to worse with a whole lot of Batman and Robin.
Oh my!
This time we only have to wait 2 years for this cinematic wonder, coming out in 1997, still directed by Joel Schumacher. But in this one, we had technically 3 villains, plus another additional character added to the Batman mythos in this world. Yeah, let's start talking about some garbage. Let's go.
Oh boy.
Where to
even begin?
Wait, 3 villains?
Bane was in it too.
Right.
Well, yeah, but he was like...
I don't know if I class him as a villain.
No,
as much as,
like
an
angry chauffeur. Like, there's not...
I guess maybe it's because I come from the comic book world, but where Bane is like a legitimate...
Yeah.
Yes, I've heard rumors he's a character in some things. In this, he was an unsexy lamp, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not really supposed to be sexy in any version of it, even though Tom Hardy tried his best.
Tom Hardy can't help it.
Yeah.
But
but you know what I mean. Like he's like.
Oh no, I get you. Like he is like
not,
a number one minion dude kind of thing.
Like Bob, except with a little bit more self-preservation instinct. Sorry, Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start and say I'm kind of bummed that this movie was such a dumpster fire because I thought George Clooney was like pretty good.
I thought he was very good Batman.
Okay.
I liked him as Batman.
I liked him. Like he was good as Bruce Wayne because he's like a GQ motherfucker in general, right? So he sells the Bruce Wayne thing in a way that like Val Kilmer's awkward and Michael Keaton's weird face don't quite.
Yeah.
And then
the thing is with like Michael Keaton is he's not like I don't think he's ugly, but he's also not pretty.
If you told me he was a lizard alien, I'd be like, yeah, okay. So he's not really turning my crank, but
But
fine.
I also think he works best as both Bruce Wayne and Batman at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very good. I know. I just I like Clooney, and I feel like in a movie that wasn't like doing whatever this one is, he could have been like a pretty great casting choice.
Yeah.
But obviously they didn't get another shot because even if anybody had, this this was the nail in the coffin of this franchise for a very long time.
I mean, for a long time there was a big joke, meet the man who killed Batman, and it was like George Clooney, there he is.
It's not his fault.
And it did.
He was good. He's a good Batman.
He was a decent Batman.
He's a natural blue blood, and that really helped him with the Bruce Wayne stuff as well. Like,
yeah.
He just has that sort of noblesse oblige about him.
Yeah. Val Kilmer just was kind of sullen a lot, and that's, like, not a great look.
No. But it also did kill the careers of, like, Chris O'Donnell and Alicia Silverstone pretty much. They did a couple of things afterwards, but nothing ever...
I just saw Alicia Silverstone in the most delightful cameo in The Killing of a Sacred Deer, which is otherwise not a delightful movie, although I would argue a worthwhile movie.
I'm sorry, what is that?
Oh, it's from the guy who made The Lobster.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So it is buck wild.
Oh.
It's not a normal movie
I want to watch
in
that.
any way.
Right.
Okay.
Watch the first 5 minutes if you can stomach it, then watch the rest of it.
Okay.
But she shows up in the middle of it, and I have not seen her in a movie in so long that I thought, and she shows up playing the mother of a relatively young boy, which to me indicates in today's sort of movie atmosphere that they are going to hire somebody who is not over 30. Like, to play the mother of a teenager, maybe a 28-year-old.
Yes, yeah.
So she showed up, and I was like, who is this? She looks exactly like Alicia Silverstone. That's crazy. They must have found the next younger... Yeah. She's so hot still. And except I didn't know it was still, because I legit thought it was another person, except that you can't mistake that face. It's absolutely her.
And the voice, too.
She
like
also might be a vampire, you guys. She looks so good.
She's a crazy, like, proselytizing vegan, so...
It might be that,
something.
I don't know. She hasn't consumed anything chemical in decades, so it's not much.
Yeah, her and Paul Rudd and Keanu Reeves hang out together all the time.
There was some.
Just a likable table.
I know.
Can I buy them all milkshakes and hear their stories?
Love it.
Yeah. Hers will have to be oat milk, but yeah.
Oh, bugger.
I just grossed myself out. Anyway, but yeah, no, she, I don't know where I was going with that sentence.
It killed their careers.
Chris O'Donnell still has a job. Studying CISLA.
Yeah.
Oh, that's garbage? Oh,
he made a comeback. That is a CBS procedural, my friend. Mm-hmm. He probably cries himself to sleep in a pile of money every night with his super hot wife.
The worst thing is that, you know what? I don't mind a lot of those procedurals. Like, I watched, I'm going to admit this on, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I watched NCIS, like the regular show, quite a bit. Like, I've watched a lot of it.
I watched Hawaii Five-0. You don't have to be embarrassed here.
We don't have.
I unironically love Hawaii Five-0, and I will tell you all about how great it is at another moment if you know.
Have to be sad about the things you like.
Okay. And the thing is I love LL Cool J. No matter what cheesy garbage he did, even his like old TV show and all that kind of stuff, I love LL Cool J. Okay, he could just stand in front of me and lick his lips all day, and I'm happy. Like, just put that on screen. I'm good. But every time I put on that show, I'm like, what is this garbage? Like, it makes me physically angry, and I gotta change the channel. Like, it's just so bad.
Perhaps a round of flaming toilets to help you.
Yes, ooh, that'll get me through the evening. That's for sure.
Oh my lord, yeah.
I don't know what it is about it. It's just so bad.
It's not great.
Yeah. So
fair.
As long as he's getting paid, I guess. That's
they're doing their thing.
But even before that, he hadn't been really doing.
No, it's true. They were like the thing, and then they weren't anymore.
Yeah.
So fair enough. Well, this movie, because I remember this movie like when it was coming out, being super excited because it was like, oh my god, all these cool people are in it. Like, it's gonna be so great. I was at like peak terrible teenager, right? Because when did I come out? 97? Yeah, so I would have been like 14 or 15. So I was like, this is so exciting. Like, oh my god, a new Batman movie. And then I remember afterwards being like, yes, that was a new Batman movie, and all those people were in it. Like, even my 15-year-old fangirl self couldn't quite get it up for this movie.
Yeah. The Smashing Pumpkins track at the end.
I hate the Smashing Pumpkins. I've always hated the Smashing Pumpkins.
The other thing is with this is that, so one thing I remember with this movie when I started watching it was, I saw this movie in the theater, like you did, but I specifically remember my brother saw this movie before I did, which was a rarity, right? And he saw it, and he came, and I'm like, I'm gonna go see Batman. He's like, just go see something else. It's so bad. And I was just like, it can't be that bad.
Can't be
it's
right.
Batman. That can't be right.
Oh,
you know,
boy.
like even though the previous movie wasn't that good. I'm like, it can't be worse than that.
They've got a
It's
new
fine.
Batman. They've
I'm gonna go have a look at it.
They've got cool villains.
The art was on already at this point, right?
Yes, it would have been.
His dreaminess had been established.
Oh, yeah.
Firmly. Yes.
And so I'm just like, no, it can't be that bad, you know. And my friends got together, we went to go see it. I remember sitting in the theater, and even before that, I told my friend, like, my brother said it's really not that good, and she's like, oh no, it'll be fine, you know. Go and watch it.
Spoiler,
and we're all,
it was not fine.
Like, literally, the whole theater was just, you can hear, like, they were trying to be quiet, they're trying to be polite, but all you can hear is like, what is this shit? Why does that look so,
man.
you know, like, you can hear, like, the whisper going through nobody's cheering, nobody's laughing when they're supposed to laugh, nobody's doing anything. The theater's just silent. The movie finishes, everybody just walks out. And you're just
that's so sad. Like, people couldn't
awful.
even get in with the, like, laughing at it.
No,
that's so sad.
That's how bad it is, yeah.
One of my, like, formative movie experiences when I was about that age was going to see Cruel Intentions in the theater.
Yes.
Which, I love that movie to death because I love things that are trash. Clearly. And everybody was just watching it totally normal until there's that one scene at the end where the dude gets hit by the car and it's like the music swells and she's like, oh God, like everyone is just like, and then some guy at the back of the theater went, and then the whole theater just like busted out laughing and I was like, oh, okay. And I was just like, all right, yeah, okay, we're all on the same page here. That's sometimes movies can overcome the horror and like it like becomes a positive experience even though the movie is objectively bad. And then sometimes you've got Batman and Robin. No.
What movie was it? It was so bad. It had to do with Street Fighter. It's like the rise of like Chun-Li or something.
Lord.
It was like we all knew it was gonna be bad, right? But it's like one of those movies like, no, we're at least gonna see people fight each other. And I specifically remember in the movie, it was coming to the end, the last battle scene happened, and this man gets up, he's so angry, and he was like, all I wanted to do was see Ryu fight! The whole theater starts laughing, he walks out, and I'm like, that was the best part of the movie. That movie was garbage, but that guy yelling about it was worth it. I don't even care what I paid. Like, at that point in time, people are like walking out of the movie still laughing. They're like, did you hear that guy?
Oh, that guy was so mad. Yeah.
Nobody talked about the actual movie.
Well,
that's what everybody talked about.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's great.
Awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Sometimes movies just like destroy your soul, but then there's always that one person in the crowd that just makes your experience worthwhile overall. You know what I mean?
You guys are my people in the crowd.
Oh my God.
I enjoy bad movies. I enjoy campy movies. I enjoy disasters of movies. Like, I can really engage in the movie making part of things, and maybe it's because I started this movie at 11 p.m. last night, but man, I was not really, even as I loved bits of it, I just couldn't. Like, interestingly, at the very beginning, somewhere around the Dinosaur Museum Kung Fu Hockey Valley,
which
oh
made
my
me
God,
very angry.
Why?
Yeah.
What? And then Batman and Robin end up on skates. I
liked this because this is if you're only watching the opening, like just that scene, that part of the movie has its feet under it. Skates pun notwithstanding. It knows what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? I mean, it's horrible.
If you walk into a studio meeting and you're like, how about Batman and Robin on skates?
Yeah.
Like, you are in full hold my beer mode, and the studio has decided to hold your beer, and all right, you do you, buddy.
It's very Adam West Batman.
Yeah.
It goes right back to the roots.
Yeah.
And you see what they're trying to do, and it works for a minute.
It's super slapsticky, it's hilarious, it's a disaster.
And then the Alfred plot knocks your beer out of your hands and glasses you with the shards of the remains.
Yeah, that was horrible. I was upset about that.
Should have been able to should have been allowed to handle both halves of this
movie. You can do one or the other.
Personally, I was like, can we have more Alfred dying storyline compared to everything else?
You shut your mouth.
No, it's not that I wanted him to die or anything like that. I just think it was more compelling, probably based on the fact that the actor, he's a good actor, right?
He's great.
And him coming across, the scenes in the movie that pulled any weight for me were those scenes, and he said very few lines, and he's like, what did he say at one point? He's like, Master Wayne, you know it is ungentlemanly to discuss your ailments or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, like, but then they go out to have a motorcycle death race, and I'm just like, what? Well,
I was I was like low key upset about Alfred the whole time. Like, so it's just like, I'm sure this is fun, but actually,
yeah.
Can we like get on with the saving Alfred because we love Alfred? This is stupid.
Yeah.
Also, can we talk about how Arnold Schwarzenegger is the literal worst in every capacity? I'm like,
no, we cannot. I'm sorry. No,
I'm like embarrassed for this movie and for him and for everybody. Like,
no, you can be embarrassed for him. Yeah. I also don't think, like with Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, I don't think he is a bad choice to play the character. Yeah. I think, the costume design is ridiculous. Who needs see-through pecs that light up because you're a Frozen guy?
Like anybody does.
And it's just the way everything is, like, even the, like, set design and the effects design of, like, the ice everywhere, it just looked like, pieces of plastic, and then they took some saran wrap and threw it on it, and they're like, it's shiny. Yeah. And walked away. Like, it looked horrible.
It looked like the 60s series.
Yeah, and it's, like, so much glitter. There's so
oh my
much
god,
glitter.
Can we talk about the amount of body glitter in both of these movies? Because
whoa.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Drew Barrymore and Debbie Mazar earlier, and also Uma Thurman, but like, the first time there was like a close up of Drew Barrymore, who, by the way, I forgot was in that movie. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh hey.
I actually thought she was one of the minions to Penguin, because I was like, isn't she in this movie?
No.
And I really, then that one.
Yeah,
like,
but they got close, and her like her whole chest is just covered in glitter, and I was like, oh, I'm having the most unpleasant teenage flashback right now.
Do you think that there was some kind of like a toilet plunger with a giant industrial sponge on the end that they used to apply the glitter without getting it all over themselves?
No. Everybody was covered in glitter for like most of the 90s.
Oh, it's like filming Evil Dead where they were all covered in blood.
Everybody has corn syrup in their... Yes,
and
exactly. People are still washing corn syrup out of the mats of their car 6 months later. Yes, that's what the 90s were like. Kids, if you're listening to this, be glad you dodged that bullet.
Mm-hmm. Body glitter, just don't.
But yeah, and while we're on a... What?
Body glitter?
What kind of butt? Were you using stripper strawberry dust or something? Because
I wasn't using any of them. The kind that I was exposed to was the gloppy kind that smelled like rotting raspberries.
No. I had
Leah really hates red scented stuff, so I
just had like this little pot of silver glitter that I just put on my eyes.
Oh, you had like the classy MAC stuff or whatever.
I actually think it was a gift. That's the only reason why I had it.
I had the tube of faintly green stuff you could just smear. Just looked like aloe.
Yeah.
I got made fun of at a club once. Like, I showed up and there was this girl who was, because, they pat you down before you went inside or check your bag or whatever. And she's like, like the glitter, don't you? And I'm like,
how dare she?
Obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was what was happening.
I remember her.
It was happening all over this movie. Like, just.
This whole movie, okay. Can we talk?
Schwarzenegger's eyeballs, because I felt that for him.
Yeah.
See
he looked extremely baked the whole time. Not just makeup. Yes. Yep. Okay, while we're talking about costuming stuff, can we talk about Uma Thurman?
Where would you like to begin?
Yes.
Well, I literally don't even know. Because, so I I work at Fan Expo and Comic Con, I go to a lot of fan events, the Sexy Girl cosplay thing has, a few, solid standby costumes, you know, you always see 11 billion Harley Quinns, whatever, and Poison Ivies. And they all, generally speaking, look like $1 million because it's a really cool outfit, the red hair, the green, with the vines, you can do what you want with them, you can, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I always thought that's kind of where that came from, because I remembered Uma Thurman being Uma Thurman and looking really good as Poison Ivy. Well, I fucking misremembered that, folks. She looks like a mess.
She does. She looks awful.
Sounds
in her. Well, that was the other thing. Where is her accent from? Mars?
From everywhere.
Yeah.
She, that scene where she comes on stage and she does that, creepy stripper thing when they're...
In the gorilla suit? You don't think that's hot?
I mean, I enjoyed that because of how flat out weird it was. was.
Mm-hmm.
Same as
Yeah.
the ballet
Yeah.
thing, yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I'm holding your beer. Okay, do this.
But it was
then,
very weird, and also the gorilla suit had nipples, and I wish I had not seen that.
I didn't notice the nipples now.
I could not unsee them.
Ew.
Yeah.
That's vile. But yeah, no, like
She
she, like
showed
that
the
whole
striptease.
scene. That whole scene was weird anyway because they were doing like the bachelorette auction, but the guys were all calling out the women by the flowers, and I was like, really? This fucking random old white guy knows like what a magnolia or a tiger lily is as imagined in a costume on a young piece of ass? Like,
yeah.
Okay, which whatever, nitpick. But
I didn't see the auction booklet, to be fair. They may have been given material ahead of time.
Potentially, I suppose. Yes. But then then she does that like striptease and she's all whatever, blowing the pheromone thingy everywhere. She does. But also it was just like, well, you better sex palm them. You look weird. Like you look like you're playing Seymour in a little shop of horrors. Like
Yeah, I was actually very surprised. Like, you can tell they're like, oh no, vamp it up, look as sexy as possible. And you're like, you're not pulling that look off at all.
No.
It's like, it just wasn't
like
working.
her behavior is not. No, she like is genetically blessed. She would have been more compelling standing there in a cute shift dress than like
than that. Yeah,
just, like eeling around, being like, I'm so sexy.
She
like,
starts adorable. Okay, I'm here for Mousy Botanist in the third.
Yeah,
and then she
was cute. She was crazy. It was good.
Slowly progresses more into drag as she goes.
Oh, that was the other thing.
She's got the full eyebrows.
There's that one where she's in the red and the yellow, and she looks like she's like running from the Priscilla Queen of the Desert set.
Yeah, she had the parrot like jacket thing.
I don't know,
that it was all feathers that were green at the top, and then it was yellow and red.
I
at the
kept
bottom.
like glancing at the screen and being like, I can't directly look at this. Like, I'm so sad right now.
It was very difficult.
Like her accent is weird, and her costumes are bad, and her quote unquote sexy thing is not.
Doesn't work.
Also, she's a super creepy pervy, whatever. Because there was that scene where Chris O'Donnell like goes in and is like, oh, you know, he's like sort of still thinks it's legit and sort of is like trying to figure it out for Batman, whatever, and he's like, oh, like, you know, whatever, I believe you, but I need you to give me a sign. And she's like, oh, what, like slippery when wet?
Yeah.
And I literally went,
ah!
I did not like that.
No.
I was like, can you not? Can you please not?
Yeah.
Ew.
Like
and then the thing with the peeling off the lips was also hilariously creepy and weird.
You're like, she may have just kissed you. Don't peel off the lips yet. You don't know if she might try again.
That is
I don't
well
know why you needed to peel it off.
Because he had to monologue about it. But yeah.
I do like the teenage plot arc that they give him, where they're like, he's like, you're just mad because she wants to kiss me and not you, and it's like, this tracks with the rest of the terrible movie that I am watching. It's the terrible argument that these guys have like 4 times.
It just keeps happening.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's like trying to sort of like pant after Alicia Silverstone and like utterly failing at it, which is another reason that people were just like, gay as the day is long.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, you've showed up in a schoolgirl outfit. Yes, I'm very interested. I'm going to
he does
stay.
Say, please say you're here for me.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. He like does that, but he's like he like maintains like just enough distance and is like kind of around, but is also like, what are you up to? As opposed to like, hey,
what's up?
There he has that. I had a real like throwback in the first one when he steals the Batmobile and he like cruises up to all those hookers and he's all, hey, come take a ride in my love machine, baby. And I would normally just throw up at that, except that some friends and I had like a running gag where we would just like holler that at each other in awkward moments when I was a teenager. So I was just like, oh, that's a thing.
Oh, it's always nice to see your source material.
Yeah.
It's true.
Just like, oh yeah, even at 15 I thought that was dumb.
Yeah, no kidding.
Or 13, I guess, for that one.
I do have a running tally that I wrote here in my notes.
Okay.
Ice puns. 22.
Oh, wow, okay.
They were
Ice
the worst.
Puns I couldn't hear because I was yelling at the screen, 1.
Okay.
Then I thought I was sapped of my will to live and
Yeah.
my ability to yell. Ice puns that weren't even really puns, just kind of references. I've got 12, but I think there might be more.
I think so.
Yeah.
There was a lot of really bad dialogue.
Yeah.
It wasn't...
You know how I feel about commitment to the bit.
Yeah.
So in that way, I I liked Mr. Freeze. He was there to throw down some ice puns, have a cool time, and then freeze as much as he could get his hands on.
And again, this goes back to my just having watched Batman the Animated Series, where the introduction of Mr. Freeze is poetry. Like, there's lots of... No, I'm not kidding. Like...
Now I'm weirded out.
I know. It's a weird thing to say, but it's filled with ice puns and all that kind of stuff, but it's also built into his genius and poetic nature. We're gonna ignore that. Okay. It's outside the locked door.
There's a cat on Tracy's balcony that thinks this whole Mr. Freeze thing is nonsense.
Yeah. No, but that's the thing, like, so, like, he is poetic, and he is very justified in what he's going to do and all of this kind of stuff, whereas this guy comes off as a campy, ridiculous joke, and you're just like, no, you know.
Yeah, although placing any normal character in this movie would have destroyed the character.
Oh yeah.
No, what I'm saying is that Mr. Freeze isn't normal. He's just different. You know what I mean?
Fair.
Like, he talks in almost poetic phrases all the time, and when he says things that are puns and stuff, he's just like, now it's time to freeze. No, he's just like, and the day ends today, and now it's time to freeze. Like, it's a very different...
more ponderous.
Yes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
well, that would have been a disaster in this movie.
Well, yeah, because it doesn't fit into this ridiculous world.
Sounds like he may have once been passively introduced to subtlety, which nothing and no one in this particular iteration of the verse has.
Yeah, it's just no. I'm just gonna say it again. No.
Yeah, if anyone wants a really fun drinking game for this episode, they should drink every time we say mess, disaster, or just no. I mean, they'll only make it through half of the first movie. Well,
I recommend mixing yourself around of flaming toilets ahead of time.
Yeah, we ought to come up with the recipe for that.
It's
obviously based on Jägermeister, but I don't know what the rest of it is.
I would think so, yes. But it's got to have hot sauce on it, too.
You can't put hot sauce in Jägermeister. Well, I mean, you could, but you shouldn't.
It's a flaming toilet. Yeah, if you're going to commit, you're going to commit.
That's why I said
hot sauce.
That's the stuff you light on fire, right?
No. I mean, yes, but no. Wild turkey and hot sauce and espresso?
Oh my god. Jesus.
What's worse, that thing or that movie?
The movie. Yeah,
I just made myself sad.
Yeah. One thing I did comment on. So you know when he follows Batgirl to the gang races or whatever.
Yeah.
First of all, Coolio. Second of all, the gangs that they show, they are very committed to very complex and very specific looks. That I was just like, I'm sorry, what? You're all Beethoven? You're the guys from Clockwork Orange? There's like some kind of like weird clown people. There was,
like the Warriors.
I was going to say Pitch Perfect, but yes.
It's just, it was very strange. It was all very strange, you know.
Come at it from different angles.
Yeah. Like, the group, like, from Amadeus, like, you're just like, what are you doing?
It's all super bizarre.
Like the tiny bike punk kid.
Although, just that one little kid who's just, like, jumping. I was like, kill him!
It is past that kid's bedtime.
Yeah, you're just, how are you out here right now?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, no, that's my mom and that's my dad. That's probably what it was, yes.
He's gonna be the next iteration of Robin when his parents are killed in a tragic motorcycling accident.
He's Tim Drake?
Yes.
Okay, sure, we'll go with that.
Okay.
You're like, there's other iterations? Yes.
I'm assuming there are, just don't know their names.
Yeah.
What are their names?
And it's not Dick, so bully for him.
That's true. He becomes Nightwing, which is also really funny because in this one, in the Forever, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. Where he's like, "What should you call me? Blah blah blah, Nightwing, blah blah blah." Yeah, it's amusing.
No, kid, you're not that cool. Keep trying.
Yeah, he's really not.
Man, this was not a good movie. I did not like it.
I love the fact that we just petered off. We're just like, we can't not.
I don't have anything good to say about it, and I can only shriek about the costumes for so long. Like, it's just bad. Yeah,
one thing the thing about the movie is that everything is bad about it. It's the set design, costume design, fight. Like, I even made a note about fight choreography. I was like, what are you doing? Like, this looks horrible. You know what I mean? It's
nothing about it is impressive. Yeah. And they're like really heavy-handed with the whole like, oh, we're a family thing, and it's like
not good.
You're not.
Like, no, I mean, maybe you're gonna get there, but also like this chick showed up at the weekend. Like, calm down.
Yeah, and she didn't show up out of the goodness of her heart to see her uncle. She showed up because she got kicked out of school.
Sure.
And had nowhere else
also,
to
can we
go.
talk about her still being in her school uniform? Because like, of all the things I hate, like movie tropes that I hate, that's like a really big one.
Yeah.
Being in a school uniform?
Like,
well,
you get there. And you're still
like, she flew all the way from London to Gotham in her friggin' school uniform after she got kicked out. That's not how that works.
Nope.
Yeah, I guess.
No, for sure no.
The only reason to do that is for them to make her eye candy, basically.
Yeah. Also, I'm
like 100%
confused about her backstory. So her parents died 5 years ago, but she lives in England with her aunt and uncle. But I'm assuming because she doesn't have a British accent, her parents were American, and then she went to England. And
wait, does she live with her aunt and uncle? I thought she went to boarding school.
She lives with her aunt and uncle in England, but it's in England. No matter which way you look at it.
Yeah, she's in boarding school in England. I thought, but okay.
Yeah. So maybe her parents were English, but she was raised in America.
Yeah.
I don't know, but when she showed up and then they gave her backstory, I'm like, but you're from England? What is? Yeah, it was just kind of odd.
It was a little hand wavy.
Yes.
Despite the number of words everybody said about it, I felt like they didn't really tell us much.
They're just like, she's just a chick who's here. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know.
Sometimes it's just better not to attempt the accent if you can't.
Yeah.
That's true.
We've all seen what happens when people are like, no, I got this, and they don't got it.
Yeah. Although Uma Thurman is playing Poison Ivy, who is from the Earth, so technically any accent is hers to command.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, hers is. It's really weird though, right? It's like she's doing some sort of weird, like My Fair Lady. I'm thinking way too much about every syllable thing, and
she starts in a like almost a faux UK, and then she veers into a weird transatlantic, which is not an accent that exists anymore.
And then Southern.
And then she sort of settles on a Southern belle, which is a great verbal.
Sure, whatever. She goes full drag queen. That's fine.
Yeah, and that's all you really need to know.
But she really gets there from all the way around.
Also, why does her plant randomly eat her at the end?
Oh, is that what happened?
I think
I had forgotten, despite watching it not 24 hours ago.
Yeah, she gets. She gets hoofed into the big Venus flytrap, and it's sort of like what?
On her.
But she's still alive at the end because Mr. Freeze is now her cellmate, which is troubling in a variety of ways.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions about how they're doing things at Arkham, although I guess that's progressive, so good for them. Probably not.
God. Yeah, no, it's all bad.
It's all bad.
I mean, she's probably gonna end up as research assistant, to be fair. Like,
yeah.
Because he's in there to do research in the lab that they have in the prison because... I don't know.
Because Bruce Wayne said it was okay.
Right. Well, there was that whole thing with Robin, too, being like, oh, I've decided not to kill you because I want you to be in prison. Like, in the previous one, and Two-Face is just like, oh, that's nice. Like, noble. Stupid, but noble.
Yeah.
But also, I remember being like, Arkham is like... The one thing everybody knows about it is that they have massive security problems.
Yeah.
This is not... Just shoot him.
Yeah, just be done with it, you know?
Yeah.
But they also didn't really... Within the whole, like, these 4 movies, like, this world, quote-unquote, Arkham only shows up at the end of the second movie for about 3 seconds, you know? Sure. When she goes to check up on the Riddler who's in Arkham.
Yeah.
And...
Third movie, sorry.
No, second movie. Or third movie?
Yeah.
Third movie. That's right, third movie.
Batman
Sorry.
Forever.
Yeah, and that's like the first reference to it, and then so if you don't read Batman comic books or seen anything else, you wouldn't know Arkham Asylum was like a place that has bad security and
that's true, I guess.
Toxic.
I've never read any Batman comics, and I knew that.
Yeah.
Going in.
Okay. I don't
know. We've also tried to play Arkham Asylum, so. You know that horrible board game that has 11 billion rules?
That is not what I thought you were going to say.
No. That's
Whatever.
When you say Arkham Asylum, I think of the video game, not the
Right.
board
Yeah.
game.
I think
So
of what? Cillian Murphy being all squirrely in a corner.
Yes.
Yeah. I definitely had forgotten that those two were somewhere down the hall, and I like that they have the callback to Two-Face's jacket. I think is in
the room where they go to get Mr. Freeze, and it's
man,
yeah, it's the
that
Riddler
was
jacket
one of
and the Two-Face
that was
jacket.
one of the set pieces I actually loved because it looked like the Room of Requirement, and I was just like, look at this like hilarious treasure trove dump of things,
They're
like
pulling off people who are coming in,
right, and like how come it hasn't just blown up yet?
Yeah.
And then somebody Kool-Aid Man's through the wall, and probably they're gonna have to like get some filing cabinets or something now. But
exactly.
But by the time we got to that scene, I looked at the Two-Face jacket and was nostalgic for an era of better movies that was in my past.
We're putting so many quotation marks around better. Yes.
But at that point,
well,
it
doesn't mean it's good. It just means it's not as bad. Yeah. Yeah, I watched them back to back, and I can't recommend that.
Yeah, that's what happened. That's why I don't have so many notes about the second one or the fourth.
Sure.
Yes,
and that's why I ran out of gas today, where I watched the first one and was just like, I can't
no more
of this twerp.
But Michelle Pfeiffer.
Well, I didn't think about that until I was like 2/3 of the way through and then I was just like, I've made the wrong choice. Like I should have done that.
Is this here's some ice cold instead of Michelle Pfeiffer some white gold? Yes.
Yes. Wow. Wow. Okay. I guess it's a good note to go out on. Like,
yeah.
So I guess overall, number 2 was good, and you can really forget about everything else. Yeah. 2 and 1. Forget 3 and 4.
I would watch 1.
Yeah.
I certainly would watch 1.
Sure. I was less enthused, but
I think 1 and 2 have merit. Yes, merit.
Yes.
But 3 and 4, I think, are probably best viewed as clips of a movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There are some scenes that could get some good YouTube play.
Yeah.
Or if you're like hammered and you want a movie you don't have to pay attention to that's just shiny and full of weird.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's there. Yeah. It's there for you.
I don't smoke weed, but maybe a few bong rips in, you might find it compelling in some fashion.
Oh, that seems like that.
I don't think compelling is the word I'd use, even if you're high.
Well, not the storyline, but if you're baked out of your mind, all these people are running around in blacklight.
Oh, so
and
you
turning
can
into
just,
plants and stuff. Like that seems pretty rad.
Uma Thurman comes out of a gorilla, man.
Boom.
And then gets eaten by a Venus flytrap.
Yeah.
There's some interesting action if you don't pay attention to like the dialogue, the plot, or at least one of the storylines.
Yeah, you gotta be real high for that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, thank you so much for being here today, for doing another episode of Off My Shelf.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. This is fun.
We had a good time chatting about some Batman movies, which will actually continue on our next episode, where we'll be talking about 2 of the Christopher Nolan movies, Batman Begins and The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Until then, you can follow Off My Shelf on Twitter and Instagram at ohmyshelf, or you can send me emails at ohmyshelf@gmail.com. Hope you'll be here to listen.